Nation. All right, here we go. Let's see. You're gonna make this public. I think you have to do that. Yep, all these things. All right, let's see. Are we live? All right. So anyway, let's let's pull up one of your news articles. You want to talk about what's her face? Let's talk about what's her face to start.
Yeah. So as disclosure kind of ramps up, one of the typical things that the government or a tool to kind of push like any agenda is to get like celebrities on board. So Miley Cyrus, right? She just had like a UFO event. And so I just like, she saw something from her car. But let's check it out on the Up Rocks. I don't know how you pronounce that. It was actually a little more than that, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's up. Go ahead and read. I'm almost there. I'm almost with you. It is
Have
up
you
on
heard
the
about
screen.
this at all, Mike?
I did. I heard that Miley saw a UFO, and not only that, she's not the only celebrity that saw a UFO recently. So they seem to be coming fast and furiouser, like fastest and furious diddliest. Number 12 with the UFOs and celebrities. So I don't know exactly what's happening here. If you listen to Tom DeLonge, we'll get to that a little bit later. He says it's ramping up for a reason. So interesting parallels here. And we have more and more people claiming they see UFOs. And so take it away with the article, and I'll be right there.
Yeah. So it seems to be ramping up here. So let's actually go to her quote. This is a quote herself. I'm not going to pretend to try and do her voice.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
No, I'm not gonna do it. But here's a quote. I had an experience actually. I was driving through San Bernardino. San Bernardino. That sounds like a dinosaur. With my friend, and I got chased down by some sort of UFO. I'm pretty sure about what I saw, but it also bought weed wax from a guy in a van in front of a taco shop. So it could have been the weed wax. Well, that's not really that credible so far.
Looking good, Miley. Looking good.
Yeah. So she says, but the best way to describe it is a flying snowplow. I had this big plow in front of it, and it was glowing yellow. I did see it flying, and my friend saw it too. There were a couple of other cars on the road, and they also stopped to look. So I think what I saw was real. Then again, she was high AF, right? I was shaking for like 5 days. It effed me up. I couldn't really look at the sky the same. I thought they might come back. Wow, look at that. She was actually kind of rattled. Now, I can't find where she said it, but there is a quote somewhere where she said she made eye contact with a being. So I guess there was like a window port or something, and she literally made eye contact with something on board. And you got to be pretty close to know that you're making eye contact with something. Right? So this is pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. They mentioned the Tom DeLonge in this article too, and it's just one more thing to kind of add to the stack. And I feel like if it wasn't a political year, if Trump wasn't president, if it wasn't so crazy politically, and this kind of stuff would be way bigger than it is now. So pretty crazy story.
Yeah, agreed. And so not only that, did the alien wink at her? I want to know. Did she get a wink?
I'd wink at Miley Cyrus. Yeah.
From the okay. Did she get a reptilian wink? Yeah,
from one reptilian to another, her and Justin Bieber got to be reptilians. Got to be. Okay. All right. So Miley sees a UFO, and now this is the problem, right? So not only does she see a UFO, right? She if it's actually being real, she makes light of it for one, right? She makes the I could have been high joke, right? But then of course her followers, how many millions does she have on Instagram and everywhere else, right? They're making fun of her, right? So it's like this is why we can't have UFOs, guys. This is why they don't show up and talk to us, because we make fun of Miley when she sees one. So there's that. Yeah. There we go. There we have YouTube is up.
So I've linked it if you guys want to check it out. Our actual secondary YouTube page, the overflowband.youtube page. Don't go to that URL. It's probably bad. But I did link it in chat in the restream if you guys want to hop over and get on YouTube. We are back on YouTube, and troubleminds.org is the official website you can find. We're streaming and embedded there. So there we go. All right. So okay. So anything else about Miley? Anything else about Miley before we move on to the next one here? Because I got a doozy.
Well, yeah, so so yeah, she was high and his Miley Cyrus, and she's probably partying. Who knows what's going on? But she did mention that she got out of her car and other people saw it too, and her friend. So it's kind of like, you know, you can believe whatever you want to believe on this one. But that's just another celebrity. There's quite a few celebrities who've seen stuff, like some guy from Alien. I think Han Solo, he's the one who saw the Phoenix lights because he was flying. So there's a lot of celebrities, a long list of celebrities who've had contact or something of that nature. So anyway, pretty interesting. Just another blip on the 2020. What do you got for us, Mike?
All right. Okay.
You say you got a doozy?
Yeah. This gets better. All right. So we're gonna go with the humorous news. I mentioned this last show. Also, how about that last show, guys? We had Best Damn Podcast on. Lots of I love talking to different people and with different worldviews and kind of hearing what's going on, right? And how smart are those folks? Right? Holy smackerel! Like half of that conversation was over my head, and the other half I couldn't even understand. It was terrible. But I just try and keep up, right? What can you do? Did you get a chance to listen to that, Ash?
Yeah, I actually hopped in at some point late in the show, and I was going to be like, hey, what's up? Like just burst through the door like Seinfeld or something like that. And I got to read on the high levelness of the conversation. And I was like, ooh, I don't think I can keep up here. And I just kind of faded back. I just sat there for a while. I was like, maybe I'll have something to contribute. And I was like, nope, never happened. But
yeah. Smart folks, I'm telling you.
Yeah, he knew a lot of information. It's almost like I wish I could he's like a database. I was like trying to harness it, and it was a really good show. It's a lot of interesting stuff. It's good to branch out and get new information, So
yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So YouTube is up, guys. Check it out at troubleminds.org. You can right click and go straight to YouTube if you want to do it, or just press play on the thing. All right, here we go. Next story. Now, this is fantastic. I alluded to this at the beginning of the last show, and I really wanted to do this quick little news blurb, right? Everybody knows Jeffrey Toobin, right? Anybody that watches CNN knows that Jeffrey Toobin is their chief, what is he? Legal correspondent. I don't think that's the official term, but that's what he is. A Harvard Law School grad. Did you hear about this guy, Ash? Have you heard of Jeffrey Toobin? Yes.
Yeah. Jeffrey he's definitely Toobin.
Yes, exactly. There you go.
Yeah, no, I didn't even need to hear any more. I already, just with that little bit of information, I was able to put two and two together. I'm like, oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. So the headline from the New York Post, New York suspends writer Jeffrey Toobin for showing penis during Zoom call, is what happened. So this has been their, again, chief legal correspondent for years, this guy. And I was actually going to pull up some, if the show tonight wasn't so dense with a ton of information and aliens and the rest of that, which we'll get to, of course, I was going to do a little extended segment on Jeffrey Toobin and some of his Orange Man bad claims from the past, just because it's now hilarious in the context of this. So anyway, okay, here we go. Let me read straight from the article. The New Yorker star writer and CNN chief legal analyst, there's the term, Jeffrey Toobin exposed himself on a Zoom call and has now been suspended from the magazine, a report said. The incident happened during an online meeting between magazine colleagues and WNYC workers last week, sources told Vice. All right. I made an embarrassingly stupid mistake believing I was off camera, Toobin later copped to Vice in a statement. I believed I was not visible on Zoom. I thought no one on the Zoom could see me, and I thought I had muted the Zoom video. Okay, the term mute doesn't apply to video, FYI, guys. Public service announcement. Mute means your microphone. Just saying, right? Just saying.
See, I mean, there's a little... there's a little hint that he didn't know what he was doing. Right.
Yeah. Exactly. So anyway, I found it funny that I first saw this. This was from a couple days ago now, and reported by the New York Post. But I first thought, like, wait a minute, like, how does this happen? Like, this is not like, was he like, changing his pants, and he, maybe he shat himself, and he was like, peeled his underwear off and was trying to change. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, what was the context here? It doesn't make any sense that he was just showing his ding ding, for lack of a better real term, on a Zoom call, right? So he's on a professional Zoom call, and it turns out that wasn't the case at all. Right. So for whatever reason, according to sources, I didn't pull up a bunch more articles, but there's a ton about this because it's freaking hilarious and sad and disturbing all at the same time. But apparently the guy was on a Zoom call with they were doing some sort of mock, like they always mock practice about something they were about to do later on, for real. Right. They practice it. Unlike us, we just get on, shoot from the hip and just slay it in one take. These guys have to practice, they have to say, make sure they pronounce orange man bad perfectly when they do. So, so they were practicing. But I guess he got so excited during this, and he got a text message or a phone call or something. He went over, he picked up his phone, and then, he didn't just expose himself. He started, let's see, I got this nice euphemisms list here. This is from Mashable. Let's see, here we go. He was poaching the egg. He was shaking hands with the milkman. He was performing manual override. He was marching the penguin. He was double-clicking. He was polishing the banister. He was petting the cat. He was Lone Rangering, boxing the one-eyed champ. If you get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying here?
Boxing the one-eyed champ is my favorite so far.
Get it? All right. There's more. There's more. There's more. He was celebrating Palm Sunday. He was nulling the void. He was visiting the safety deposit box. He was orbiting Venus. He was finding Nemo, cupping the carrot, cooking cucumbers, dialing the rotary phone, taking the self-guided tour. There's more. There's a huge list. 50 euphemisms. That's right. Jeffrey Toobin was masturbating right there, right then, on a Zoom call at work. Like, what the hell's going on?
He was tubing it up, man. He's doing the old knuckle shuffle on the pump,
What the hell's going on here? What's up, Tamara? What's up, Sherry? Thanks for showing up. Let's see. Joey says, hate when that happens. Yeah, exactly. A jerk in the gherkin. Yeah, we got a ton more. We got Tubin was Lubin, says Super Vike. What's up, Super Vike? I see you there on Twitch. Yeah. Penny's the only one. Thank you. Penny's the only one on YouTube, guys. She's lonely over there. If you guys want to go chat with Penny, YouTube, check it out. We're back on the other channel because the other one got suspended because, 2019. Anyway, so there you go. I thought it was pretty funny. I was like, what's the best euphemism for masturbating? And I was like, there's got to be a list. There's a list of 50. I'm like, damn, I'm getting old. When we were youngsters, I could maybe pull 3 out of my hat, flogging the dolphin and some pretty boring ones. This is a hot list, right? Whoa.
Hey man, the internet, it's improving the lives of all of us. That's what it's there for.
Yeah, totally. And so, we're all human and et cetera, so on. But the point is, he was on a damn phone call, guys. I mean, have you ever been on Mike, like a professional phone call and been like, now, right now. You know what I mean? What?
You know what? I feel like he shouldn't be punished. I mean, the man is efficient. He's getting things done, right? He's like, oh man, let me get this out of the way so I can focus on my work. He loves work that much. He's that excited about his job. I wonder if there was some sort of like Orange Man bad, like they're going through it. He's like, oh man, this has really got me going.
This is just too good. This is just too good. Yeah, I don't know. There's this is what I was saying last time, right? Before, when I kind of didn't actually get to the story itself, that like these people are sick. Like these people, like, come on, really? And this dude sits on his high horse on CNN and tells us about what a bunch of miserable like plebs we are, and we don't know anything about anything, right? And this is what we're dealing with. So imagine this is the one time he got caught. Like, what is this dude doing? Like I said, put yourself in the same situation. I'll say for myself, I've been on a number, dozens, maybe hundreds of conference calls in my time, okay? And not once ever has it entered my mind. Now, right now. You know what I mean? Come on. Anyway,
it's only been a few for me,
Okay, only a few times. but for you, the moon has to be just right. You already said that, so it's okay. We're all fine.
Yeah, it's gotta happen.
Right now.
Otherwise, I gotta wait a long time. So gotta get it done.
You got to get it done. All right.
But that's what I was saying. He should be rewarded for being efficient. He's multitasking.
Yeah, that's true.
Pretty good work etiquette. I think.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if So did he get fired? He got fired, right?
No, he got suspended. So what's going to happen is they're all going to bring him back, right? Like after the election, they're going to bring him back and pretend like nothing happened, right? That's going to be the funny part. So once he makes his reappearance, we're going to see what the look is.
Bro, if I got caught in a job like that, I would never go back.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I would not want to face anyone.
No, exactly. They're all watching you yeah. And he muted himself.
They're like, oh, that's that. I mean, at least he was muted. At least we couldn't hear it.
Exactly.
Idiot.
He was muted.
And this guy's the one who's trying to tell the country what they should think and believe. Okay, great, awesome.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so there we go. I just wanted to point that out. And these are the people of in the moral ivory tower that sit there on TV every day and tell us how dumb we are. And that we don't know jack shit about politics because they're the only ones that can parse it and explain it to us. There we go. Now, right now. No, not now. Oh my goodness. Okay. Anyway. Okay. That's enough of that. I thought that list was hilarious, though. The 50 euphemisms for masturbation. There you go. You guys now have the link yourselves. You can learn something new. Hopefully. All right. Here we go. Let's move on. It's been a while since we've shit on China, so let's move to CNBC here, and let's shit on China a little bit, shall we? This headline is U.S. China.
My pleasure.
Yeah. U.S. China tensions could split the internet. And data will play a key role in how far that goes. Have you heard of this? Splitting the internet. It's called the Splinternet. And so China is one of the reasons why this is maybe a thing. We talked about Russia possibly doing this in the last pit. I think it was 6 or 8 months, somewhere in that range. Like Russia was actually considering pulling their entire web traffic off the actual internet and creating their own countrywide intranet. Right, so that you couldn't get in, you couldn't get out, very much like the Great Firewall of China. So now if this starts to happen, right, like the greatest communication tool in the history of mankind, well, other than telepathy and remote viewing, these types of things, but, digitally anyway, they're going to start limiting this. Like when Frank was on the show, we always used to talk about how the internet's getting smaller. Well, a splinternet would make it smaller indeed, would it not? I'll read a little from the article, but what do you think about that so far, Ash?
Well, I mean, I think that a lot of people don't realize that we're kind of in a war already, and it's a battle. It's an online battle for assets, economics. It's a nerd battle. Basically, we're in a nerd fight, and when you leave your country open, your assets, your companies, your individuals, your data, I mean, you're just basically exposed to this kind of stuff. So I can see the government always wants to hit every nail with a hammer, right? And I can understand it's probably tough. It's such a pain in the ass to try and keep things intact. I mean, there was worries that a foreign power would hack our grid system and basically put that thing all the way on max and blow it out. So you could from a laptop, you could take down a country. And it's pretty serious stuff. So I can understand how these countries, especially these two superpowers, are man, fuck it, let's just decouple. And the thing with America is we have freedom, but we have the pros of freedom, and I'm very happy for those. But we also have the cons. We're just exposed in so many ways with our elections getting meddled with, and whatever the case is. Companies get hacked. There was even rumors that the head of Google, and this is a super conspiracy, guys, so I have no idea if this is true or not, that his daughter was given some sort of poison or something, and that only China had the cure. I mean, this is super deep rumor stuff. But that's the kind of thing, these digital assets are so powerful. They're so important now. I mean, look at all the censorship leading up to the election going on. And whether you're on the left or the right, I don't care really. But think about if if we don't do something about this kind of stuff now, is it going to lock down, and is that going to be it forever? You know, are we going to speak Chinese? Are we going to speak in Chinese online? Like, so anyway, it's pretty crazy stuff. It's a war. We're in a Cold War right now.
I think so. Yeah. I think interesting that we have like the definition of the Cold War is from the past, 50 years type of thing, but it's not, this is not described as a Cold War. Like this is a data war. Like there needs to be a new term for this. And, again, so we start chopping out huge sections of the internet. Like we've talked about China quite a lot on this show, and all of the people they have there, like there's a huge market segment. And so when you're talking about worldwide, when you're talking about 1 billion people, right, it's over 1 billion people over there. It's like Google and these guys, Facebook, like their advertising tentacles, they have to be there, right? Like you're literally cutting off, I don't know, like 1/6 of the world's population, and to them, they don't see like population, they don't see like freedom or human rights or any of this, right? They don't give a shit. They see dollar signs, and so they have to be in China. They have to be there. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot here. Interesting times we live in, and I guess, like they say, I forgot the exact saying, but at least it's interesting times. Win, lose, or draw. At least there's some.
Yeah, we're not bored. Yeah, that's for sure.
At least there's some whack shit going down. Yeah. There's definitely. Who am I missing? Let's see. Eddie from Las Vegas. What's up? Hello, Timothy. Audio keeps cutting out. Yeah, does it? Is anybody else having problems with the audio, or is that just Periscope? What's up, Timothy on Periscope? Who else? Bailey. Thanks for showing up tonight. Thanks again. Go ahead. Sorry.
Is the audio cutting out in general, or is it like one of us, or just let us know.
Yeah, let us know. Let us know. Let's see. Okay. And yeah. So who else was saying? Let's see. Bailey, what's up? Bailey again. Thanks again, Bailey, for being on the show last week. That was fantastic. Lots of really good information. I feel like you guys are way smarter than me, so we'll just we'll leave it at that. And all right. Let's see. William, what's up?
I agree with that, Mike.
Yeah, I think everybody else does too. It's okay though. It's not.
I'm just messing with you.
No, it's fine. It's not a contest. It's not like. I think that's the thing, right? Like, it's easy to say, generally speaking, that, it's a contest, right? Where we're trying to compete. No, it's not always like that. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's part of why we have such a hard time as people is that it seems like we're always trying to compete with each other all the time. And I just don't think it's necessary. I think that we can learn from each other.
Same team.
Yeah. We can have good conversations. And, you learn from people smarter than you. That's how it goes. So anyway, back to this. Okay, a couple shout outs. What's up? Let's see. Good audio says Supervike. What's up? Supervike says, yep, everything is good. So I think we're just maybe cutting out on Periscope. That's all right. Facebook, John says Facebook's all good. What's up, John? Thanks for being here. Let's see. You guys in the chat.
William says cyberspace is a new battlefield. That's true.
It is. It certainly is.
You could destroy a country. You could just bang at your laptop, like at the monkey, like banging at a typewriter, and then a country goes down. It's possible.
Yeah.
And there you heard about all those like single hackers, those like hackers. That's not really it anymore. There's like it's governments. I mean, do you remember that one? And I don't want to tangent too long, but that there was basically a virus that destroyed the Iranian nuclear program. This is real. This is true. And Norton, the company, investigated it, and they barely found the virus. They just got lucky and found it. It was like a computer rebooting in the corner, and like, what the hell's wrong with this thing? And they looked into it, and they're like, holy crap, this thing could only be written by like a first world power. And they basically narrowed it down to America without actually saying it. And we rewrote their like facility and destroyed their nuclear Iranian program with the internet. So, yeah, I mean,
was that the Stuxnet virus? It was Stuxnet, right? I think there was an actual virus.
Don't remember.
Yeah.
Probably, so. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot here. And so again, and it's not just a kid on a laptop anymore. Those are happening too, of course, which might take us down for no apparent reason because, they don't like what we say or whatever. But fine, whatever. But then there's also foreign state actors. Like, I kind of wonder... You know what I mean? Like I said, I always, from time to time, I update you on the podcast statistics, and there's somebody in China listening. So, you know what I mean? It kind of makes me wonder, like, who's kind of monitoring what you say in real time and how prevalent it is. Like if it's just, clearly they're not paying people to like, listen to me. but they're probably running some sort of algorithmic data collection, and now I have a file in China. You know what I mean? Like, this is the type of things that's going on.
The Chinese have two things. I mean, we crap on them, but they have, number one, a lot of staff. They have a lot of people, right, that they could staff for anything. And number two, they're smart. They're very aware of technology and different things like that. They want to advance. They want to be like number one. So you combine that, and then you can pretty much have a presence anywhere. And then yeah, it's pretty crazy. I wouldn't be surprised. Hello, China.
Yeah, what's up, China? Whoever's out there listening, whatever algorithm is parsing every word, not just ours, because they're doing it here too. Hi, Zuck. We know you hate us. I see the shadow bans. If you don't believe me, go to YouTube, go to Facebook, type in the keywords you think you would find us. That you won't. All right, let's see. Burr, what's up? Okay, so what's going on? Hey, news, man. News before we get to the aliens. Thanks for showing up tonight. Let's see. Gliding the Lily. Is that another masturbation euphemism? That's the what's up? Let's see. Chicken China, the Chinese chicken. Okay, there we go. There we go.
Wow, there you go. That was very talented. You combined two things. I'm impressed.
That was Joe. Okay. Anyway, so as we talk about this, again, this is not just our show. This is your show as well. 702-957-1037. troubledminds.org. Click the Discord link. It's on the top of the website. And you can join the show either on Discord, or you can give us a call and get on. And as simple as that. It's easy. You can go back and listen to the history and see that I'm mostly kind to everybody that calls in. And if I'm not, it's because you're not. So you call in and be cool. We'll be cool. This is all cool. We're cool here. Everybody chill. Everybody relax. All right, here we go. Let's keep on moving. Let's go to, speaking of China, let's go to the New York Post. And maybe you guys saw some of this. Maybe you guys didn't. But that's why we're here. That's why we're here, to kind of let you know about the shit that's going down that nobody's telling you about, because it's inconvenient. The real inconvenient truth. What's up, Al Gore? I'm talking to you. All right. This is again from the New York Post, and the headline is, "Meet Your Chinese Facebook Censors." Hi, China. Straight from the article. China is one of the most censorious societies on Earth. So what better place for Facebook to recruit social media censors? There are at least half a dozen Chinese nationals who are working on censorship, a former Facebook insider told me last week. So at some point, the Facebook bosses thought, hey, we're going to get them H-1B visas so they can do this work. The insider shared an internal directory of the team that does much of this work. It's called Hate Speech Engineering. Hate Speech Engineering. And in parentheses here in the article says...
Of course it is.
Exactly.
Of course it is.
Of course it is. George Orwell, call your office. That's what it says, which is funny and grotesquely true. It continues. And most of its members are based at Facebook's offices in Seattle. Many have PhDs, and their work is extremely complex, involving machine learning, teaching computers how to learn and act without being explicitly programmed. Yeah. There you go. So instead of, right, coming up with some sort of censorship program, because of course that's what big tech is doing. That's what part of this copyright strike business is all about, right? Like so think about that. So you can put even a frivolous copyright strike on our YouTube channel and take us down for 90 days from streaming. You see? Right? You see what's going on here. So as they stack these things and censor more and make it more accessible to trolls and let's say political opposition, this is the world we live in. But that's not enough, right? Like building in these things into these monstrosities of these social media giants is not enough. Now they're, instead of creating something that's a little more, American, good old fashioned American censorship, we're just going to go straight to China for that. We're going to hire Chinese nationals that are pros at this shit, right? They've been indoctrinated and they know everything about it. Yeah. Go ahead. We got a call coming in, but go ahead. Give us your hot take on this, Ash, and then we'll take. It's Joe from Florida, so you already
it's
know.
Really scary stuff. Yeah, I mean, I think it kind of goes back to basically corporations are more efficient. They're faster. They're more nimble. They can move quicker than the government can, and so. We've always been scared of big government, and I think that's important, right? The big government cracks down on you. But and we've kind of always been hesitant with corporate powers, but I think we need to kind of wake up to the potential that these technocracies have now. Google's been a threat for a long time. It really has. And they're literally, one of their slogans is don't do evil. And the reason that slogan is there is because they can do evil. They're in a position where they can. And so if any entity has power, it's only a matter of time, right? Before a regime change or whatever. So these kind of things, I don't know how, and that's the part, that's the crappy part, is these things are so complicated, complex, they grow so fast that it's hard to regulate. It's hard to kind of know what the right answer is, right? Specifically. And our government's too slow. It's just full of like old dudes, right? They don't know what's going on. I mean, Trump tweets, which is like weird. He'll tweet at like 2 a.m, but that's like an anomaly in the greater picture. And so, what is the answer? And can we find it fast enough? And it's kind of funny. Like I said, the Chinese government, they're smart, and it is hilarious how there's so much overlap between some communist regime that like executes people and harvests their organs, and like freaking Facebook. It's like, what the hell? So it's just crazy stuff, and it's a little scary. And I think that together, I think we can overcome it and definitely solve it and fix it. But we kind of have to like wake up to it first, right? And do something. Otherwise, you know, it's not that it's not that you won't it's not that you can't fight back or push regulation. It's just you won't see the problem anymore. You won't see it as a problem. The information that you need to have as a citizen, as a responsible human being, won't get to you ever again. So you won't know about things, and they'll just be able to just take it off the shelf, and that's it.
Yeah, and this is literally 1984. This is Orwell's 1984. It's happening in real time. It's happening right in front of us. And not only that, this is the type of shit that's happening that they don't freaking talk about. They don't tell you about it, right? Like everybody knows, right? And that they're censoring political opinions, right? QAnon, right? QAnon has just been stripped to the bone off the internet. Why? Not because it's dangerous, right? Not because they're really responsible for murdering anybody, right? Or burning down anything, but because they have, it's really, the basis is their political lean. And that's not acceptable anymore. And that's what's happening here. Like this, and this is as grotesque as it gets. I don't believe QAnon at all. I think it's a LARP. I think it's literally some sort of psyop that I can't quantify. It's over my head. I do understand the movement, right? But I don't get why, where it's headed, right? I don't get it. It could be. It could just be a political psyop, right? Bringing out the vote. As simple as that. It may not be. But the point is, if they had a different political leaning, they'd still be up on all these sites. And that's the most disgusting part. All right, let's take this phone call, and we'll keep on moving here. Again, if you guys want to be part of the show, we're talking about China right now and censorship, but we're going to get to aliens. We're going to get to Tom DeLonge tonight. And Ash was nice enough to bring a bunch of the maybe juice, a whole vat of it, a whole Martian pig trough. Reptilian trough of alien maybe juice. And we're going to drink a lot of that tonight. And we're going to talk about what if Tom DeLonge is right about all the UFO stuff, and look at some of the claims he's made. So we will get to UFOs and aliens and all the rest of that. So hang tight. But right now we're taking this phone call. It's Joe from Florida. What's up, Joe? You're on Troubled Minds with Mike and Ash. How you doing, my man?
Good evening, guys. No doubt, I think you saw the article I sent you on more or less what you're talking about. Thought occurred to me, I'm sure all of us remember MySpace. And, that was kind of innocent, went away, gave way to Facebook. We've all watched the movie, a lot of us have seen The Social Dilemma. And, this week I'm thinking, and I'm watching people complaining that the Hunter Biden story was being kiboshed or put the hush on. Facebook was censoring it. All these articles, censoring it. And then next thing I know, the New York Post posted an article. It was pro-Trump, forget what it was. And all my other friends on the Facebook side that were bitching about Facebook 3 days earlier were loving the article. So it fits their narrative. And just thinking to myself, it's a private platform. So, A, how do you frame free speech on a private platform? Okay? Because really, they could do what they want. I mean, heck, we've gone to court so people don't make cakes for gay couples, right? So, I'm thinking about that, and I'm wondering what would really make Facebook go away? Because it's obvious somebody could come up with another social media platform. I mean, there's Twitter, Instagram, all of which I don't use, but Facebook is worth $665 billion, according to some estimates that I've looked at. If we turn around and told everybody in America, we're going to give you a cut of that to go away or to stop using Facebook, I wonder what Americans would do. Some neighbor of mine thinks, he's more libertarian. He's like, people need to figure that out on their own. When you watch that movie, The Social Dilemma, all you hear about is how a computer and an algorithm is beating the human mind, pounding you with maybe facts and disinformation, however it's framed. You're constantly being pounded by that. Andrew Yang said we should be paid for the data we give them. We are the product. So I was just thinking about that. What would it take? I don't know how anybody feels in the crowd listening, but what would it take to get us? I mean, I'm on social media. I know I am. And I try not to take a political slant too much, but you end up doing it. So, what cost if they offered you $50,000, $100,000? What would it take
to just go away? To just
just go away and get out of it? So that's one thing. And then there's something active on Facebook, getting into a couple of other things. There was a network. It was called In the Now, and I think I actually got banned from it. It was one of the ones that says Poster is based in Russia. ITN Network always said Poster is based in Russia. I'll give Facebook credit on that. Every fucking article that they posted was an article about somebody in a Western country, some kind of racist thing that was going down. I'm not justifying any type of racism. It's the fact that the source that was pumping it, and for the real reason that they were pumping it, was to incite any type of disobedience, BLM, whatever it is. The thing that killed me is it was coming from Russia. Granted, the videos you could argue with when you watch them, but the fact that it was coming from Russia, which are probably more racist assholes than we are, okay, in some parts of the country, and China. China, they're all, heterogeneous? I always mix up the words. They're all one people. They're not a melting pot. And that's always consistently used against us, now more so with social media. So it's a big thing. And then I don't know either. I know Ash brought it up, but I don't know if you're aware very quietly that the Attorney General Barr went after Google. They are suing Google actively. It came this week. If any Republican-Democratic work together is happening, basically Elizabeth Warren is teaming up with Attorney General Barr to go after Google. Not so much for the search engine, but more because they've got their search engine on every goddamn cell phone that you buy. So that's the angle we're trying to take. We don't know what kind of precedent it's going to set, but they're actively going after Google. I don't know how that's going to affect things, but social media, man. I mean, I remember MySpace. You change the colors. You put a couple of things up. You contacted your friends. Facebook, I go on there. I post something pretty neutral, and then I got family that never fucking shows up, and they got to show up in the comments, and you want to take your computer and throw it out the fucking window. But you shut your mouth because it's family.
Yeah. Yeah. The hell is that sound in the background?
What would it take? And then what would it take? And then what happens when government does that? All of a sudden we're communists. So, I don't envy the government. I don't envy anybody. But then you put that article up that some of the Chinese are censors. It's like the article that I had sent you earlier this week. Whoever holds that power, how are they going to wield it? So computers are bad. We could argue that. But we can't go back from them. Pandora's out of the box. So ethics always drags. And it seems like ethics is like 10 years behind or 15 years behind. ethics always comes behind the technology. And since technology is going to be doubling and doubling and doubling and doubling, and ethics is going to stay behind because old guys, like Ash said, old guys are trying to fucking still figure out how to turn on, their iPhone. We're going to be stuck with this.
Including all of Congress. All of Congress is still trying to figure out how to send an email. And all the while, the big tech industries are just running away, like literally pilfering the country and overtaking the world. Overtaking the world. This is crazy.
I think it's an honest question. I mean, I don't want to sound like a commie, but I am, even though I'm probably more libertarian. But at some point in time, the government takes hands off, laissez-faire, and companies do what they do. They always will. And then they buy out the government. Then you entrust to put regulations down. Again, 665 billion or whatever it is that I'm looking at. What would that cost? I mean, there was a quote or something that said Jeff Bezos basically can give everybody 125 grand and still not get his wealth touched. I'm not saying that because maybe they clean toilets or they're not helping themselves, and everybody's going to argue. But for the good of the country, if the fabric of the country is being torn apart from social media, don't you think somebody should demand that those things get dissolved?
You would think.
You wouldn't want a phone company. You wouldn't want to make a phone call if every time you called, Nevada, you got a Nigerian prince. You'd argue about that, right? Hey, I called and somehow I got that would not be good service. I mean, Facebook, it's just open platform, and there's bots and everything else. That's Stuxnet virus. That's how it started. We started the cyber war. There was a special on it. But we're the ones that really started that cyber war with that virus in Iran. And I think all their computers shut down and played a song, if I remember correctly. And now it's being used against us.
Yeah, it's all being used against us.
Pretty simple.
Spot on. You're spot on, man. Per
and there
usual.
Was something else. I don't know if Ash. Well, hang on. I don't know if Ash remembers it, or if he saw that special. It was something on NPR this week, but in the book, there was some kind of a virus similar to that where they took out some infrastructure in Europe, but it was actually affecting, I think, bus schedules in the United States somewhere. Now imagine if somebody just fucked with the train system. We had those gas explosions, I think, up in Boston a year or two ago. And it was kind of hush-hush. I think you talked about it on the show. Where a bunch of gas ruptures happened in houses up north. Nobody really knows if that was a virus. So,
I think
I don't know
if
I
did hear about
the
this.
right idea.
Go ahead, Ash. Can you hear him? Can you hear him, Joe?
Yeah, I can hear it. I'll hang up.
No. I wanted. He wanted to talk to you. I wanted to make sure you could hear him. Go ahead, Ash.
No, I can't hear him.
Oh, okay. Never mind. He can hear you now. So I'm toggling with stuff, trying to fix shit because everything's always in a state of broke.
I could turn the volume up, but I can't hear him to the phone.
No, you're good. It's all on me. Okay. All right. So final thought tonight. Thanks for the call. All that good stuff. And I mean, I don't think we can win. I think you're right. It's Pandora's box, right? I think probably a more apt analogy to all of this is Pandora's box. Like literally, once you've opened this tech world, and you never thought about it, the government never freaking thought about it until it was way too late. And that's exactly where we're at. That's a great point.
But it's still got to be done. It has to be done.
Yeah. The dirty work of the government has to get in there and get it done, and they're not gonna because they're throwing money at them, so they don't give a shit. So yeah,
but and you're right. I mean, I guess when I say it has to be done, unfortunately, every option of exploring and pushing the limits of data and computers has to be done, for better or for worse, unfortunately. Because like I've said, and I think we all believe, if we do not do it, somebody else certainly will. The only thing I can think of right now is retooling. And here's another quick fact that's kind of scary. I don't know if anybody's feeling this, but a neighbor of mine went out to get a printer for his computer. Couldn't find any in Staples supply line. Another neighbor, dishwasher went, Tried to get it replaced. It was a week before they got the dishwasher. Retooling and supply lines. I got a guy that works on classic cars. They put aftermarket air conditioning in them. They can't get the parts to put the air conditioning in them. I don't know why we're not retooling and doing a Marshall Plan in South America, Central America, Mexico. This would be a great opportunity. Be a great opportunity for Trump. Build a fence. Okay, great. Why don't we retool? I don't think people in South and Central America are going to use the money that we give them to build weapons to blow us up, unlike the Chinese.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'll leave you on that note.
Yeah.
Have a good night.
Yeah. Tons of food for thought. Great call, Joe. Thanks for again, participating. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being present and understanding that the world we live in is not the world they want us to believe. And it's bigger. There are bigger questions. You're the man. God bless you and the family. Stay safe out there, okay?
Be safe, everybody. Good night.
Thanks a lot. Joe from Florida. There you go. There you go. Simple as that. If you want to be part of the show, it's 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link and get on the show. Again, this is our show. This is what this is all about. And if we had a great comment here, actually, that I want to go back and read this and make sure that this is exactly what's happening, I think. This is exactly what's happening here. What's up, Sean? I see you there from Canada. Good night. Hello and good night. Let's see. Okay, Millie, we're going to take Millie's phone call in just a sec here. But okay, check this out. We had a great comment here. And let's see, where was it? A ways back. So basically, somebody said that this is part of the entire thing, right? So if they disconnect our communications from each other, then you should be good to talk now, Ash. No echo or anything. So if they disconnect our communications from each other, then we don't know. If you live in, like I live in Vegas, that means I don't know what's happening in California. And you have to get your news you can't get it from social media direct from the sources, right? You have to get it through a media that spins the information and either downplays it or overhypes it depending on their political shtick, right? So I think this is this is a huge problem. And again, nobody. Once again, you look at the debates on the presidential debate. Anybody watch that? They're not even talking about this. It's not even on the radar, right? It's just not even on the radar. It's unbelievable. Anything real quick?
Yeah, I
remember.
Go ahead. I remember in the 2016 election, Russia came up. I was like, "What the hell are you guys talking about? Like, what? The freaking Soviet Union isn't around anymore." And they just kept bringing it up. I was like, is it really that big of an issue? And if you look, like Russia's GDP, they're like barely anything. Like, yes, they've had a pretty extensive psyop kind of intelligence programs and whatever, but like, what the hell? Like, and meanwhile, there's this giant freaking elephant in the room. It's just China. And like you said, yeah, you're right. Absolutely. They're still not talking about it. Not really. And there's rumors that politicians, and guys, I'm not talking about Biden. I'm not just picking a side. I'm talking about in general. China had this like thousand prospects program.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but they had a specific program where they're basically going to foreign countries and they loan, and they're like loan sharks or predatory. And so they're also buying up politicians. And so, everyone's just being quiet and they're just growing and growing. And it's just scary. It's just, if it's one thing, we want our other countries to do well, but it's another if they're like freaking, modern day Nazis. But anyway, that's enough of the Chinese horse. I think we beat that one to death, right?
I don't know, not quite yet. They have over a million Muslims in basically concentration camps. There you go. For all the race baiting assholes out there that want to talk about 150 years ago and slavery here, why don't we talk about that happening right freaking now? How about that? Spread the word. Yeah, that's what's happening. Human rights abuses. Yeah. Look up what that means. Okay, let's go to this phone call. This is Millie. I'm gonna toggle some buttons. She should be able to hear you, I think, Ash. So if you can stand yourself with a little bit of echo, I think you can participate in this phone call. Let's go to Millie. Here we go. Millie, you're on Trouble Minds with Mike and Ash. Could you hear Ash on the phone there?
I couldn't hear anything, so I wasn't sure if I got disconnected or not.
Oh,
I
shit.
could only hear you.
Everything's just me. Okay, so everything's broken. All right, perfect. Just how I like
hear
it.
Either. Yeah.
Just how I like it. Perfect. How you doing, Millie?
It makes you comfortable. You know.
I'm good.
There you go.
I'm good. How are you?
It's like good old home.
Doing well.
So what I was actually what I was calling in was to kind of point out that how things have changed. Like, I guess, what they consider a conspiracy theorist, right? Because I look past like the information that we're given or, told to believe. So, I mean, back in the day, like, it was never about politics. So this is why this new, like, genre is like, it's become a Democratic, Republican thing, where now it's the Republicans, like, I don't even know. It seems like the Republicans are now believing in the conspiracy theories and calling Democrats like the evil doers and all this. But back in the day, it was us, like, we the people who can recognize, use critical thinking and see things for what they actually are, against them. It was never like two political parties divided against each other. So I don't know about this QAnon thing, like, but I think I don't know, that thing, whatever it is, it seems to be like more divisive than actually doing any good. I mean, because there are legit reasons to be a conspiracy theorist. I know that's a derogatory term, and it should not be used because a lot of these things turn out to be true, as it goes, as time passes or what have you. And so I don't understand this whole like political part that just came into play about it. Is somebody speaking? It sounds like somebody's speaking to me.
No, I'm sorry. Let me kill that. Okay, no. So no, we're quiet over here till I'm talking now. No, okay. So here's the thing, and I think exactly what you're saying is the truth. And so the conspiracy theory term was actually coined after the JFK killing by the CIA. Okay, and so it was actually to wrestle back the narrative
Right.
of people that were whispering and saying, I don't know, there's something maybe going on with this, right? Then it's still, I think if you look at all the history of this, and you even go back to JFK and now, they still have files that are withholding, right? So they were involved somehow. Absolutely no question about it. Like, what level is still up for debate because we haven't seen all the data yet. But the whole point of politicizing conspiracy theorists, you notice if you turn on, I don't know if you watch the mainstream media at all, but if you turn on either channel, all they do is call the other side conspiracy theorists. And so, like I say, politically speaking, the only people they really hate is us. Because just like you said, critical thinkers, people that try and like parse the data and find out what's really happening aside from all this political BS spin. And I think it's the game. And again, why I think QAnon is probably some sort of like political psyop, right? It is what it is. And so, oddly enough, it could have been
another thing to hold us down and keep us in a negative state of mind, a negative state of being. Divide and conquer. That's like a real thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, shit, that went back into the what century? Like, I don't even know because I'm not a historian, but it was a long time ago.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what's happening. It's a divide and conquer, and that's exactly what they're doing. That's the plan, Like, I really wonder if they're so ignorant they don't understand what they're doing politically, or if they're just really think that they're doing what they think is the best for the country because they're so brainwashed that the left or the right is the right way. You know what I mean?
I fully 100% believe, like, I found myself over 20 years ago, and I, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, you know what? Some people, something is going on this planet that is very intentional, because it could be so easy to be nice to each other and to bring us all together. It could happen overnight. And in order to keep us all hating and in this state of being, this anger, this violence, that is something that is very well mapped out. It's very methodical. It's very intentional. This isn't like because your natural way of being is not hate thy neighbor. I'm sorry, but it's not. You don't grow up when you're a little kid and you hate the person next to you for no reason whatsoever. And that's basically what is happening now on the planet and has been happening for quite some time. So it's whoever is in control of the planet and, who's manipulating all of the people on it, they know what they're doing and their intention is not good.
Yeah, for sure. I think probably most of us can agree with that. I don't even think it matters whether it's malicious or just stupidity. But you're right. There's somebody out there. There's like a puppet master pulling the strings. And interestingly, you bring that up. Tom DeLonge talks about that. And you know who he thinks it is? He doesn't think it's people. How about that?
I don't either. Well, I don't either. I mean,
like aliens.
I'm sure they're involved in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for sure.
Yeah. Like Bailey says, the Archons. We talked about the Archons last show, if you count that one. Like negative energy. Interesting. Interesting how it
I think
kind
that
of
there's
comes back.
several. I mean, have you guys seen that video where two people actually caught it? It was on that show, Paranormal Activity or Paranormal something caught on video on the Travel Channel. And it had a triangular shaped UFO hovering above the Pentagon, and it was pitch black, but it had like angles to it, like these kids were driving around in a car, and they caught it on video, right, their cell. And then just so happens, a guy was like doing photography on a hill nearby and caught the same video. So there was two perspectives of it, and it was just this huge black triangular shaped UFO just hovering over the Pentagon, actually rotating very, very slowly.
I've seen that. It was a pyramid, right? They called it a black pyramid, I think.
Yeah, pyramid. I'm sorry. Yeah, whatever. You get me.
Yeah. I've seen that video.
But yeah,
we talked about that when it happened.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that there's several. I think that there's several with. I don't know what the intention is. I don't know if we're a major project, to see what happens if you do this, and make them do this and see what happens. Can they snap themselves out of it? That saying of people being asleep, that's so true.
Yeah,
because
agreed.
People are just, they're like hypnotized. It's almost like that. And then, some may start to think on their own and some may not. So it was so awesome when I found myself. It was just like a snap, like, oh my God. Yeah, what I've been searching for this whole time was me, and I'm everything that, I will ever need. It was the most amazing, profound moment of my life. I guess that's neither here nor there, but I mean, I woke up at that moment,
No, it's good. No, it's good.
None of this matters.
Yeah. None of the stuff they try and tell us matters, right? Again, living in the upside down. That's what we're here, what we're doing, and trying to make sense of this. Yeah. It's crazy good. But you think, right? You think of all the things they're trying to tell us and all the things that don't matter. Or all the things they're trying to tell us.
And you were talking about what I thought you were talking about just was like the algorithm, and you're like, so everybody sees their own. Do you listen to Anita Morjani?
No, never heard of her.
Because she was talking about that today. Like, I'm not even kidding you. She almost verbatim said what you said about how everybody. She gave it. For instance, everybody gets a newspaper. They used to get one, in your neighborhood. It was all the same paper. But nowadays, everybody gets a newspaper or whatever. It's designed for them specifically. So they only see exactly what they want to see. They don't go outside of their little bubble that they create for themselves. Like, when you search something on Google or you buy something off Amazon, like all that stuff comes back onto your feed. So that's all you see is like that piece of information that fits to your liking. It's not, it doesn't reach for much further out of that. Isn't that the algorithm?
Yeah. And through algorithms, you know what they seek? Full spectrum control. That's what they're looking for. Every part of our lives. And yeah, this is real. This is a real thing. This is not speculation. This is not conspiracy theory. And again, right, you would think this would be the story of the century, right? Short of UFOs. But nobody's talking about this. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And here we are, right? Here we are getting shadow banned, taken down off YouTube, and all we're talking about is let's be good to each other. Let's talk about the truth and things that really matter to people. It's unbelievable. It's obvious. It's in our face. They don't want us. They don't want us to. It's against.
Yeah, we're definitely
against the rules. Yeah,
we're in a new world. I mean, essentially.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, now we are in COVID, and they've locked everybody down. Or some people can work, some can't. I mean, it's like, I don't know. It's very bizarre.
Totally.
Bizarre world that we're living in right now.
Totally. Hey, so I still remember.
Anyway, that's all I wanted to say was. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I still remember we're going to do a show on CERN. You let me know when you're ready. We'll do it because I got the goods. I got the deets on this, so we can talk about it. You let me know when you're ready. We'll get you on. Let's get Discord working for you if we can, because it's probably better than the phone because it cuts in and out a little bit. But let's do it. So when you're ready, you let me know. Love to have you on. We'll talk about CERN. Okay.
Okay, great. Well, all right. Well, I'm going to hang up with you now and go and listen again. So
Appreciate
you guys all having a good night.
Appreciate the call. Thank you, Millie. Have a great night. And
right. Thank you.
Talk to you soon. There you go. Simple as that. 702-957-1037. I'm going to leave the phone number up. Ash, I know you caught some of that. You're a little bit behind listening on another stream there because everything's all screwed up with my audio because, well, welcome to Troubled Minds Radio. That's how we do. That's how we do it. We just screw up the audio and make Ash dance. Any
it's part of the show, boys.
It's part of the show.
It's part of the show.
Welcome
it's part
back,
of the the amateur, not amateur, that's not the word I'm looking for. It's part of the realness of the show,
Amateur means you don't get paid. No, amateur doesn't mean you're not good. It means you don't get paid. So that's
okay.
Accurate. It's accurate.
It's pretty it's pretty amateur. Yeah, I mean we're not whacking it during Zoom meetings, so I guess
but he gets paid for that.
He got paid for that. He did get paid for that. Wow. That's pretty amazing. I mean,
yeah. How about that?
If only I got paid for it, I'd be a millionaire by now,
There you go. Right?
No, but it's kind of fun. It's kind of we'll I'm gonna print it out and put it on my wall, at some point. Just
memorize
just
all 50.
to stay motivated, so we're not amateurs. Yeah. But no, it's kind of funny how a lot of people kind of have that feeling, that sense that she has, right? That there's something wrong. And if you put people in a room together, they'll be honest, they'll be good to each other. You know what I'm saying? Like if you put 5 people in a room and then you come in and you stab one person, right? And then you walk out. The other 4 people are going to be horrified and help that person be like, why did they do that? And when humans are like near each other, we care for each other. Like human nature's really good. And we kind of have all these artificial layers that kind of exaggerate problems. And I don't think humans are really good at like worrying about like what's going on another continent or something. I think that would be like the kind of the hole in humanity, right? If it's not kind of like in their face, then you don't really see it. But we kind of all have this sense like, I feel like, like Alex Jones, he would say they, right? They're up to this. They are up to this. It feels like there's a they, right? It just feels like it. It just, things don't seem like they should be. And like I said, I think humans are naturally good, and wars and censorship and all this kind of stuff, it just doesn't feel natural. So it's a good call. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, definitely. A couple great calls there. And again, like we do it this way. And I think we have so much information tonight to talk about with Tom DeLonge and his take on the world, right? Again, we're drinking a healthy dose of the maybe juice. and we're thinking like I'm suspending my disbelief of the propaganda aspect of Tom DeLonge for tonight, and we're going to take everything the man has said that we can drudge up as fact, and we're going to try and align that with the world, and maybe what if he's right and all the rest of us are wrong, or maybe not the rest of us. Let's say what if he's right and I'm wrong. Okay, let's just say that. I'll just use myself as the avatar, the anti-avatar. It's no problem. But you get what I'm saying, right?
It's Mike versus Tom.
There you go.
Fight to the death.
Fight to the death. Cage
yes.
match. Cage match.
Yes.
We're not doing that tonight. We're not doing that tonight. We're gonna Tom and I are getting in the cage. And we're gonna kumbaya. So again, right? Like, what happens if all this is really true? If the archons are the thing and negative energy is brought upon by aliens and et cetera, so on. So we're going to talk about that. And all right, so we got a couple minutes here before we're going to take a quick break. And think there's a news story we got to smash in here real fast before we start on Tom DeLonge.
Bro, I'm just going to gloss over them super freaking fast. Like, I'm going to do this like super fast.
What
all
you
right,
got, buddy?
So I got a bunch of tabs. I think a lot of them are the same. So we're just going to go through here. I've got an article from strangesounds.org. This is actually an older article from July 14th, but it's super important. It says the volcanic unrest is increasing around the world, right? There are currently 26 volcanoes erupting around the world and 13 showing enhanced activity. More than 100 earthquakes have been reported near or at volcanic peaks. Well, the ring is on fire. The ring of fire. But this kind of plays into the whole, supposedly in the abduction, aliens predicted this would happen, right? There'd be volcanic activity and solar flares, fires, literally exactly what they said. I read that like 6 years ago. And so here it is. So coincidence? I don't know. But we have the poles shifting. You got 2020, COVID, all this crazy stuff. So just another thing to kind of add on the menu. So volcanic activity. So let's move on to more recent news. I'm just blowing through this, guys, so we can have our halfway break. Touchdown. NASA makes historic landing on doomsday asteroid Bennu as OSIRIS-REx extends its 11-foot robotic arm to collect rock samples before launching back into space. So this was October 20th, 4 days ago. And we managed to land one of our craft on an asteroid. That's freaking impressive. That sounds like bullshit to me. This like we haven't even freaking gone back to the moon. And yet, you know how hard that would be. Like how, I mean, so apparently this asteroid would wreck the planet if it hit the planet. It's pretty big, and we managed to land on this freaking thing. It's probably spinning and all kinds of stuff. I honestly, this makes me think that there's a secret space program. And that they're just like making baby steps to kind of admitting things. But I mean, yeah, anyway, it's there. It's collecting samples on this asteroid. Pretty amazing. If they're using the kind of technology that they say they're using, wow, good freaking job. But I suspect.
Nice work.
Yeah, I suspect it's more. Either way, it's pretty amazing. It's pretty cool. Because there's like asteroids out there that are full of gold and all kinds of stuff. So pretty interesting, pretty exciting. That means we're one step closer to, landing on an asteroid and detonating a nuke, and then, getting that Aerosmith song. I don't want to close my eyes. Like that's gonna happen soon.
You probably. What's up? I see Mark on Facebook says there are no aliens. There is no God. What's up, buddy? Welcome, you lucky mud. You dirty lucky mud. You. Congratulations, you made it this far. Congratulations.
You sound like you're fun at parties.
Yeah,
no, I'm joking. Nah, probably. Who knows? Yeah, I mean, that's a safe route to pick, I would say.
Yeah.
Safe route
for sure. Yeah, for sure. It's okay. We're not like totally making fun. We're just halfway making fun because we make fun of ourselves too. Thanks for showing up. Okay, so here's the thing, right? We're halfway point here. We got a ton of news we'll get to next time. It's more important to talk to you guys. So thanks Millie, thanks Joe for the calls, and thanks for the hot takes. That's not even hot takes. It's just sanity, right? The sanity is seeping through, and yeah, it tickles my heart a little bit. It really does.
There is one more article. I'm literally just going to read the title.
Okay.
NASA to announce new science results about the moon on Monday. something exciting, some exciting discovery. So tune into that, guys. It's going to be at 9 a.m. Monday, October 26th. That's it. Well,
there we go.
That's it for me.
I did see that news, the announcement coming up. Something exciting on the moon. You know what it's going to be? It's going to be some dirty rock. They're like, we found this new dirty rock. Check this out. It's a dirty rock. And it's like, you know, aliens running around and shit on the backside of the moon. They're not going to talk about that.
It's like, yeah, cool. Nice. Awesome, NASA. So exciting.
Okay, just a prediction on that. I literally think it's going to be some sort of volcanic rock, and they can claim volcanic activity on the moon. I think that's what's going to be. There you go. There's my take. My guess on what it might be, without being dialed into the information, whatever, superhighway. As they continue, the splinter net. That's what I'm looking for.
The splinter net.
There you go. Yeah, Timothy says probably found Pepsi cans. Yeah, probably. All right, so we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about aliens. And again, so we're suspending our disbelief tonight of Tom DeLonge, and we're going to take him at his word. There's an entire fantastic Reddit thread where they talk about all the things that Tom DeLonge believes as far as they can ascertain. And we're going to look at the world through that lens right now, okay? Right, wrong, or indifferent, no problem. That's not our job to figure out the truth, right? It's our job to put the data out there and for you to decide what the truth is for you, okay? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to look at that tonight. I'm going to do my best not to shit on Tom DeLonge too much, and we're going to talk about that stuff. So let's take a quick break. Anything real quick before we go, Ash?
Take a break, guys. It's going to be a doozy. It's going to be good stuff. Get your tinfoil hats ready. You know what? That's what you could do during the break. Just make a pretty badass tinfoil helmet. Get that thing ready because you're gonna need it.
There you go. Go pick up some extra tinfoil and strap it down. 2 minutes. We'll be right back. Go hit the bathroom. Go get some extra tinfoil. Go top off your drink with some ice. We'll be back in 2 minutes to talk about aliens, Tom DeLonge, consciousness, and the rest of the things we always talk about. Be right back. Are you enjoying the conversation? Do you like talking about all things aliens, conspiracy, and paranormal? Well, if so, thank you. And also, we need your help. As you are probably aware, the technocracy, the government, major corporations, and anybody with a ton of money needs to control the narrative. Otherwise, they cannot control your mind. And as a result, free speech, independent thought has become the devil, the opposition. And of course, anybody that knows anything realizes that notion is absurd. The individual decides what they want for themselves, not from the collective. And pay attention to the media and ask yourself, which are they telling you to prefer? Now, I ask for help. The way you can help this conversation continue is by spreading the word. And it's really easy. You can spend just a few seconds of your time. Go to troubledminds.org, that's the official website, and find the iTunes link and leave us a review. If you enjoy the conversation, that is the best way you can give back to Troubled Minds and the community that we've worked so hard to build together. Otherwise, the technocracy will continue to stamp us into the ground. They will continue to shadow ban the words we say and the thoughts we think, and this will never end. Dun 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 dun. Tell me, is that the most terrifying commercial you've ever heard in your life? Yes. Be very afraid. What's up, TJ says they are here. No, they are real and they are here. What's up, TJ? Thanks. See you on Facebook. Thanks for showing up. Bailey, the caller was Millie. That was Millie. Millie from Facebook is who that caller was. What's up, Robert? I see you there. Let's see. Doug, what's up? It says backlit. Backlit? Is that like lit joke? I don't know. I don't understand. Let's see. Doug says still fascinated by DeLonge. Aliens. Ancient astronaut theorists say yes. All right, so we're back. Now, many of you went to the bathroom. Many of you went to top off your drink. Many of you just sat there and didn't do a damn thing. I went and gave Mrs. Strange a kiss goodnight because she has to wake up early in the morning. And there we go. There we go. There we go. Good night, Mrs. Strange.
Oh,
there you go. There you go. Hey,
so
what
cute,
can you
Mike.
do? What can you do?
Oh.
What can you do? And she's on the other side of the wall, just at my back. And so I came in there and she's all a dirty rock because she's listening to me. I guess I'm shouting and she can hear me through the wall.
She's like, what is he fucking yelling
exactly.
about?
What is he?
Rock.
What is he?
Why is he mad at rocks? You know?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, geez. All right. So there we go. Yeah. So we're doing our thing. We're reading some chat. We're taking phone calls. We're talking about Tom DeLonge. All right. So now, what started this conversation? Ash. Sorry about that.
Wow. Freudian slip, guys. Freudian
okay.
slip.
Can we just change your name from here on out to Ass Clown? Is that okay?
Don't get the check started, man. Come on.
With the ass jokes.
Don't get them started.
All right.
They had all that warm up with the whacking it jokes. They're warmed up.
That's right.
They're a well-oiled machine. Do not feed them.
Do not.
They're like they're in the industrial like phase of like the chat right now. They're like pumping out jokes. They're ready to go. You put that on the assembly line. Oh, you're gonna get that. You're gonna get it.
Clown shoes. Okay, just kidding. I like Ash. I actually like Ash. It may not sound like it, guys, but I really do like Ash. He's a cool dude. Okay, I mean a cool reptilian.
Don't believe him.
He's a cool reptilian. He's a cool reptilian.
Help me.
Help me. To blink twice if you need help. All right. So here's the thing. So we're Ash and I were kind of kicking around on Discord. We're like, what are we gonna talk about? Let's do a show. Let's do this. Blah blah blah. It turns out that there's this fantastic Reddit thread. I just linked it. You guys can check it out. And so the title of this Reddit thread is Tom DeLonge Crazy Claims and Statements. Okay. And if you look, right, I linked it. You guys can follow along and you can read this entire thing faster than we can probably say it. But this is what we're going to discuss tonight. If you scroll down, right, now here's the wild stuff. Now buckle up. He claims all of these things, right? Blah, 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 blah. There's a lot of things, right? There's a lot of shit in here. And so not only that, right, this is from his book, his first book that he wrote. This is from an interview with Jimmy Church that he did on Fade to Black, which Jimmy Church is amazing. We're gonna play some of the clips from his show. Shout out to Jimmy Church. I'm sure he doesn't listen to us, never heard of us. That's fine. Whatever, I don't care. But he's fantastic, and he actually had Tom DeLonge on, and this was back in. Let me get the date here. Actually, I have the date. One moment, please. Actually, no, this was August of 2016. So they didn't even know Trump was going to be president at this point when they had this interview. That's how long ago this was. And this is when Tom DeLonge had stepped out of the, what would you say? The normie closet, I guess we'll call it that. And he turned into a UFO, what would you call him? UFO buff, a UFO knucklehead, a UFO. I promised I wasn't going to shit on him, and it took me like 9 seconds.
Ancient astronaut theorist.
Ancient astronaut theorist. It took me like 9 seconds, and then I shit on Tom DeLonge. Smack your face, Michael Strange. Okay, but anyway, so there's some really amazing claims in this. Okay, and so so we're going to take this individual's worldview and play some clips and talk about this. So I know you read through this Reddit thread, and then we've got some clips from the Jimmy Church interview. So what are your initial thoughts on this and his claims here? Did it give you shivers up your spine, or did you face palming? Ash the reptilian from Mars. Earth to Ash.
Yeah. Mikey,
yes,
there.
Up,
Mike.
I'm here, buddy. I'm here. Go right ahead.
Well, I have mixed feelings. My strategy. I just record everything and then just get confused, right? That's kind of been my strategy. And I think it's good to keep a track record because I remember when Tom went on Joe Rogan, and the freaking dude, Joe Rogan later on was like, "Oh my God, what a fucking nut!" And I thought that was really unfair of him to say that. And when he discredited him, everyone else fell in line too, right? I mean, there was a lot of negative comments, and it's crazy, and he sounds crazy, and the stuff he says is crazy. But let's be honest, guys, audience, Mike, myself, we don't freaking know, right?
No.
Like,
agreed.
You don't know either.
That's true.
So, and he's done a ton of research. Doesn't seem that bright, but doesn't matter. He's put in more time. He's put in more effort than anyone else that I've ever seen. And well, maybe not everyone else. There's a lot of other people, but he has the balls to kind of like go knock on certain doors. So you got to have respect for that. And I think it's good. It's an important thing to catalog all this information, and let's find out, right? Like, things are ramping up. Let's freaking find out. And let's put a stake in the ground and let's see how it goes. And I'm going to try and stay on board too. I'm definitely going to talk about the skeptical side, but I'm not going to, posture myself in that way, I guess. So, interesting person, great band, random as shit that he's like going to be doing this, and he is doing this. He's in communications with some deep people, and he got those videos out. He's done a lot, so you gotta give him credit where it's due. And I think this is what we're doing tonight, right? We're gonna dive in. This Reddit post is great. They have like a pretty good synopsis. I was gonna watch that video of him being on air, and I've watched a lot of his stuff on air, trying to see if he accidentally leaks anything, because he doesn't seem like he'd be good at keeping a secret. Yeah. And I didn't really get anything of note. And that freaking interview was like 3 hours long, so I didn't watch it. So it's nice we have this post. I don't know. Have you seen the whole thing though?
Yeah, I watched bell to bell from the beginning to the end. I watched the entire damn thing because I had to clip it up. I've got a clip of nearly everything he said in this interview. I have 33 clips of what Tom DeLonge said in this interview. I listened to the whole damn thing. Yes, I did.
Good job, Mike.
Yes, I did. Yeah, see? Somebody's got to do it. Because this is the thing, and I understand. It's a long-ass time to sit there for 3 hours and listen to this shit. So not only that, right, then 3 hours of listening to it, then how many hours of, like, another hour of, like, maybe hour and a half of trimming it up. It's just a lot of work. And I understand. And I get why a show like this, that runs for 3 hours, people roll their eyes and are like, oh, fuck. Like, there's probably some good stuff in there, but I'm not wasting 3 hours of my time on this. You know what I mean? I get it. That's why we're putting timestamps on stuff so you guys can jump around. See, we're doing that. Check it out on YouTube. We're doing that. Okay. So anyway, now, now let's just start with, let's play a couple of these clips right off the bat. Again, this is from Jimmy Church. He interviewed him in August of 2016. And if we get to a part 2 of this, if you guys are into the suspending our disbelief, drinking a ton of the maybe juice, and believing everything Tom DeLonge says, we'll do a part 2. You down with a part 2? If folks are super interested, what do you think, Ash?
Definitely. I think next time what we should do is we should cross-reference it with where things currently are, right? And kind of start validating the things he says, right? So this episode, we'll put it out there. We'll talk about it a little bit. Next episode, we'll start digging in, right? And I think we definitely, things are moving along. Exactly.
We could probably do 4 hours tonight and 4 hours for part 2. Like, there's so much shit this guy has said. But again, think of it this way. Just like Ash said when I did it again. Ash said, it's what happens when you get your third beer. When you get your third beer, it just sounds like
I'll drink to that.
Cheers to that. No, but this is the thing. We all speculate, right? And so he's allowed to, like he says, he's got insiders and he knows. So anyway, let's just play some clips in his own words and let's find out. So we'll just start with how he began getting into this UFO community and being part of this new disclosure project. Okay, let's go with part 1. This is from Jimmy Church, Fade to Black. In the words of Tom DeLonge, I did my best. Jimmy is amazing. Jimmy Church is really great. If you guys haven't heard of him, go listen to that dude. He goes 5 nights a week and he's fantastic. Add him to your list of stuff if you have not yet, because he's incredible. Like, he's an open minder, right? He's not one of those guys that's like shits on this and shits on that because of whatever reason. But as data presents itself, he changes his mind. as we all should, in my opinion, right? So I got nothing but good shit to say about Jimmy Church. But a lot of the woo-woo people in the UFO community, they shit on Jimmy Church because they're like, oh, he says that this might be wrong because it might be propaganda. Well, yeah, no shit. Like pull your head out of your ass and start looking around because, yeah, propaganda exists. So it's our job to parse reality from the propaganda. So
what?
Yeah.
What? No.
Yeah. Exactly.
Whoa. Yeah, propaganda does not exist.
Quit
okay,
acting
everyone.
like you don't live on Mars. Get out of here. All right. Part 1, Fade to Black, Tom DeLonge. I tried to trim out Jimmy as much as possible. Let's hear what Tom had to say. Part 1, action.
Then there's this damn one issue of UFOs, right?
Right.
Where I've been studying it for so long, and I just can't get out of my head, what the hell is going on? So for 25 some years, I would read every book I could, watch every video I could, would listen to every lecture I could as I fall asleep every single night. Every tour I went on, it was an obsession, and it never got easier. Can you hear me okay?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So it never like lightened up on me. So here comes this time where I have the opportunity to talk to somebody that I knew what was going on. And so I did something kind of interesting, and you got to let me know if my phone's a little weird, but I took the opportunity kind of by the horns, and I did something that actually, if you would see somebody probably do with an intelligence service. I went to this person's family member, and I go, hey, does your so-and-so ever talk to you about UFOs? And this person was a fan of mine, so I knew they would tell me the truth.
Right.
And they go, hell yeah. And I said, thanks, bud. Walked away. And I said, now I'm not going to let it go with this other guy.
Right.
So then I got some moments alone with that guy, and this person, I pitched an idea, and this person says, we can't have anything to do whatsoever with that topic because there has never been one bit of evidence whatsoever that it exists. And I asked, and I looked at everybody, I said, can everyone leave the room? Keep in mind, I'm in a secure installation.
Okay, there we go. That's how this all starts. Right? So now a little bit's going to be out of context because only briefly, probably less than 10% of this is out of context because sometimes there was a short clip I added another part at the end that kind of made sense. So now he was not in a secure room when he talked to the family member of the individual involved here. So just FYI, there was a little bit on the end. It was different. But anyway, so this is how he says he got into the UFO cabal or whatever it is, right? The Majestic 12 or whatever you want to call it, right? This is how he says he got in. He just started knocking on doors, right? I don't know. And anything there that you noticed that was interesting to talk about, or should we just keep on trucking, Ash?
No, that's it. I did want to add before we kind of got into it. I watched the movie Phenomenon, and I'll talk more about it probably.
Wait. Let's
probably
do that.
next
Let's
time.
do that. Let's wait. Wait. How tired are you? That's the question.
I could gloss over it. I could just speed it up real fast. I could go through it pretty quick.
So Ash is on the east coast of Mars, and so it's a little bit later for him than me. So I'm okay to go a little long. So I want to be respectful of your time as well. So if you're cool to go a little long, let's just jam that in here. Let's shoehorn that in and do it. If not, we can wait till next time because there's a ton here to cover. We'll definitely fill up the 3 hours. But if you don't mind going a little longer, definitely let's do it. It's up to you. Completely your call.
I could do it real fast. There's a long version and a short version. I'll do the really short version.
Okay, wait.
Keep it short and sweet.
Let me introduce real fast. So that was the initial Fade to Black interview with Tom DeLonge. Part 1, we're going to do. There's tons. There's 33 parts here. We're not going to get to it all. It's impossible. What we do 10 hours. Okay, so Ash actually told me he watched that Phenomenon movie, right? And I talked about that not last show I think, but the show before. and talked about an article where somebody said it's the same rehashed BS over and over again, right? It's the same thing we already know. If you know anything about UFOs and are into the topic, it's just the same shit. So I didn't watch it. I haven't watched it. I may not, right? I may. I don't know. We'll see. But Ash did. So here we go. Here's the Ash take on that Phenomenon movie. So go ahead, sir. Let's hammer this out.
Great. Great intro. Thank you. Yeah. So the Phenomenon. I don't know if you can get it anywhere else, but I paid for it on Amazon Prime, and it's right. It's kind of it's a lot of rehashed stuff, but it's presented in a very professional. It's presented very well, and it's kind of a bit of a slow burn. And so it kind of starts off with a lot of what happened in the 1950s, where there was a lot of UFO sightings. And I actually didn't know this, but there was a lot of UFO sightings. Like, people were seeing whole squads of UFOs. And so the reason I wanted to bring up this whole thing, by the way, before I finish this do this whole thing, is to keep this in mind. This is kind of like the narrative, the mainstream narrative so far, and kind of matching that up with Tom DeLonge, and just in the back of your mind be like, is this the truth, or is this like, there's aliens and then there's the government and then there's potentially collaboration, right? Who's pushing what? Who's telling the truth? And so here's kind of like the mainstream narrative, and there's some little things in here. So, like I said, in the 1950s, it looked like these fleet of UFOs wanted to be seen. And so they flew over the Capitol building, the White House. There was press conferences. A lot of the military and the CIA and these different intelligence agencies, well, they actually didn't exist yet, but the policy was to seek peace. So we never engaged the UFOs. We didn't know what they were. And it was pretty hype at that point, because this wasn't something that was like, the lid wasn't clamped down on it yet. And it was on news. It was pretty insane. And there's like pictures of like all these UFOs above the White House. So it just seems at this point, these what Tom DeLonge would say were others were like looking to communicate. They were like looking to get observed. And there was a lot of consistency in the documentary. They did a really good job of showing there's a lot of consistency between some of the really good UFO sightings. Like, the UFOs turned on their side to like go vertical, to go up into the atmosphere. Then there was Operation Blue Book, right? That came out. And the guy who ran that admitted at some point he personally believed these were extraterrestrial. Not all of them, obviously. Most of them were debunked. But he personally believed it. But he was instructed to kind of downplay the whole thing. So that's the air of secrecy. General Ford. This is all from that documentary. I'm like saving you guys $5. But General Ford, he called BS. This was before he was even a president, and he got hearings about it. So like, shit's kind of starting to build up, and there's this consistent trend of the government trying to kind of keep a lid on it, right? If you guys are familiar with UFO stuff, they talk about the nukes, right? And how UFOs were messing with nukes, shooting beams on them, disabling them, activating them, all kinds of crazy stuff. Then at one point after the Soviet Union fell, we started communicating more with Russia and got some of their information. And in Russia, UFOs actually did start countdowns over there too. So similar things were happening with the nukes. Roswell incident, right? I don't know if you guys know this. And this is what's good about this documentary. It kind of goes through all these things, but there's a lot of little things that you may not know. All the guys in the photo, like a lot of the guys who were in the official Roswell photo, actually came out and was like, yeah, I was told to say some bullshit. So, I mean, it was like literally the main guy in the photo. They had him on the documentary saying, yeah, it was BS. So then they featured the New York Times, the Nimitz. They're basically kind of like building this narrative that UFOs are a real phenomenon. And at one point, they have a senator who said that most of the evidence has not seen the light of day, which is pretty amazing. Then the documentary shifts over to talking about contact, the whole Zimbabwe thing, where these children, an alien came out and the children met him. A police officer saw a bunch of little grays outside of a ship before it took off.
Okay, hold on though. I know all these damn stories. This is what I'm saying. Like, I'm not an expert, right? I'm not. I'm really not. I know more than many people because I've talked about this for a long time now, right? But I don't go into like each new thing we talk about as an expert. I go into it as a noob and I learn the things, right? So then after doing that for a couple plus years now, 2.5 plus years, we end up, you start knowing some things. Everything you've mentioned there, I've heard of. So is there anything new? That's my question about this phenomenon thing. Did you, is it really aimed at newbies who don't know shit about UFOs? Because not that I'm saying I'm like an expert. I'm not. Trust me, I'm not. But I am saying that there's a ton more information here that really is more nuanced and needs to be discussed than just again. And this is the exact same criticism I have for Tom and the To the Stars and the shows they do. It's the same shit, right? Like for insiders, it's the same shit. So is it anything?
Yeah, no, absolutely right. I think the important thing is not really the rehash stuff. It's kind of how, right? It's like Taco Bell. There's like everything's the same ingredients, right? But it's important to look at how are they putting this together. What is the story that they're actually putting together? And so this documentary kind of paints the potentiality that aliens are good and they're trying to communicate us to like not destroy the planet. And so that's kind of the vibe that this documentary gives off. And it's a counterpoint to what we're going to get in with Tom DeLonge, right? So that's kind of like two little paths. Are the aliens are here for our own good, or the aliens are super bad guys, right? So those are the kind of two paths that that we can kind of go down. And personally, you can kind of justify it to yourself. And there's one last thing with this, and there's a question that's at the end of the documentary. What are they doing on Earth, and what do they want? And I think that's kind of like where these people who are pushing disclosure, I think that's where they want the people to be, so they can provide this answer for us, right? And that's kind of the answer that we're going to talk about tonight, supposedly. So anyway, yeah, just filling that in. I mean, that's a big documentary. It was really high budget. It was pretty interesting. I think it's red pilling a lot of normies. But yeah, I don't think it's really anything new.
Yeah, same shit, right? So red pilling normies. It's what we're doing. We're doing that, right? Are we not doing that? I think we're doing that. Like we're preaching to the choir quite a lot, but we're still doing that too. Like we're going through all these old stuff, all the old cases, or Project Blue Book, or this or that, or the case in Africa with the kids and the aliens and the thing and this, the other thing and the other thing, and all the other things and the aliens and the consciousness. Isn't that what we're doing? Like, are we not doing this too? We're just not funded by the government, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, so the criticism that I read from that first article,
and I would say,
is it valid? The criticism is the same shit.
We don't.
Go ahead.
I would say we don't put as much of a spin on it as these people do. Tom DeLonge, this documentary, I don't think we kind of like really draw a conclusion as much as these people do, and I think that's why like people come to this show, because we're just trying to figure it out with them. But like whenever you have an insider, like, can you, like, what does that even mean, right? So anyway, that's okay. Let's go. Let's do it. Sorry,
okay, let's go. Okay, well, we're just in time that I'm rebooting the soundboard software, because if we don't, it'll stutter. So because my RAM is only limited, and I'm having problems. So I'm having computer problems, by the way, as well. So there you go. So not banned. Let's say YouTube jail. What's up, Penny? Cellmate in YouTube jail. I see you there. But I'm having to monitor if anybody knows anything about computers, I'm monitoring my task manager to make sure my CPU or memory or disk usage doesn't spike through the roof. So yeah, it's been one of those struggles. So give me just a moment, and then we'll play part 2 of this interview with Tom DeLonge. And okay. So okay, but you're saying that you think it's necessary, but the thing that annoys me is that how do we expect to ever move the needle, right, with let's say, any sort of disclosure without giving people something new, right? It's kind of like doing the first season of the Flintstones over and over and over again without giving them the second season. You see what I'm saying? It's kind of like the same shit. It's like, okay, so at what point do you finally give them the second season and more information? I think that's my biggest beef with all this.
Here's the thing, though. Like, it's the people. Like, all this data has been kind of out there, except maybe the UFO videos. But it's almost like the people need permission to be okay with these ideas. Like, the government came out with the UFO videos, and they're like, no one gave a shit. Like, it's very. I mean, there was like a spike in like excitement, but that was it. And it's like, I'm over here in the corner, like, can we talk about the mantis now? And like, people were like, no, like, you're a weirdo. And I actually just saw a tweet a couple days ago from UFO Jesus. He mentioned Dr. David Jacobs' abduction stuff. He's like, okay, like, if UFOs are real, can we look at abduction? And I just think that's like the problem. It's like people like need permission to like talk about this stuff, even though this stuff's kind of all out there. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Well, okay. So all right. So we're saying that in the instance of aliens, like we said with Miley Cyrus, I actually had some Demi Lovato. She saw a UFO recently too. So we had some of that in the news we didn't get to, but like people put this stuff out there and they're ridiculed, right? Like the social media comes and people start shitting on them and calling them crazy or stupid or stoned or this or that, right? Then I think maybe that's it. I think maybe you're right. I don't know. Maybe we're so and I hate to say this because I shouldn't piss like everybody else. Pardon my French, but maybe we're more enlightened. maybe we get some of the things that are happening, and so many people do not. Yeah, I mean, it really, I struggle with that. But okay, all right, fine.
See, I would say that our audience, I would compliment our audience like that, but I wouldn't compliment us like that. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I would just be like, oh, our audience is smart, they're aware, but we're crazy. We're just crazy.
Okay, all right, perfect.
But wow, but like, I mean, wow. Like try to go to a party and talk about this stuff. It's, you know, unless there's like marijuana there, like you probably should bring this stuff up, you know, or at the dinner table or whatever. But I think that's slowly changing. So, and remember, it's by design, right? Like you said with JFK and all that kind of stuff, and it's they. It's they.
Okay, but this is the problem I have with all this, and I've said this a lot. Why? At what point do we have to talk about Roswell, Shag Harbor, and Rendlesham Forest over and over and over again to finally get people locked in? You know what I'm saying? Like talking about the same shit over and over again, like it's like the definition of insanity, right? Like talking about the same shit over and over and expecting different results, right? Isn't that what they say? That's my point. Yep. That's my point. I mean,
NASA's got everyone thinking they won't even announce that there's freaking like life anywhere else. That's where like NASA's got everyone.
Yeah.
And then
I guess so.
And then people are supposed to make this jump that there's like freaking gray aliens that are like high. You know what I'm saying? It's like
all right.
It's a gap for normal people, and
it's a huge gap.
But I mean, there was like this guy who supposedly hung out with aliens. And they roasted him, and I don't know. I don't believe this story, but he said like, "Did you ever look up?" And he was like, "What?" He's like, "Did you ever look up?" And they're like, "He's like, yeah." He's like, "You really thought you were the only person that was alone?" And they all like laughed at him. I think that's gonna happen to us. You know?
Yeah,
we're gonna get roasted. The aliens are gonna be like, "What did you?"
Of course, we're gonna get roasted. Of course, I'm not scared to get roasted. Let's do it. Let's do it. We got actually. Let's do this. We have never done this, but we can do this. If anybody out there completely disbelieves in any of this conspiracy stuff and they want to have a debate, I'm your Huckleberry. There you go. You got it.
Nice.
Hop on this.
I'll be the hype man.
There you go. You can be the hype man. I'll be your Huckleberry, and let's talk about this, right? And I'll have notes, and I'll have details, and I'll have quotes. And guess what? I'll probably bury you. So any normies out there, open invitation, and that's called transparency, which the government will never give you. But guess
Mic
what?
Drop. Boom.
But guess what? Nobody's going to take it up because they won't, right? Because they're gonna get like 10 minutes in and they're going to be like, ha, 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 but the aliens want to put a probe up your butt, ha, 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 and they're going to run off, right? Like that's the type of conversation you're going to get. You're not going to get any serious people. So I think on the other end, it's the same thing, right? Like you don't get a serious conversation on the other end. Okay. So let's go part 2, Tom DeLonge here. Let's get back into Fade to Black interview with Jimmy Church. These are the words of Tom DeLonge and the things he believes. One more time, I'm going to put this Reddit thread up. Read through it. Follow along. If you have questions, if you want to know about a particular thing, we're not going to get to all this. I have 33 clips of Tom DeLonge talking out his mouth. And so we're going to hear some of that. Part 2, Tom DeLonge action.
And at first I had to go to a building and get a badge, my ID, and fingerprints. Then I took that badge and I had to go through guard shacks with machine guns. Then I had to go to a very specific building. I had to leave my phone in a box. And then I go through 2 security scanning kind of devices. Then I'm in a hallway. That hallway has speakers playing white noise. So it's that white noise, so no one can hear each other's conversations.
Right.
Then I go through another set of doors that has all these electric locks on them. And inside there were like 5 offices with no windows, and it's the heart of the place where all the real stuff happens. And it was in that area, in one of the rooms, where I looked at everybody and asked them to leave except for this one person, after he told me none of this stuff exists. As soon as they left, I shut the door and I said, "Sir, I understand the national security implications of this. I am not naive to this subject, and I do know that it is a very tricky and fragile subject. But I have an idea that I think you will find merit in if you just hear me out. But I am here asking for guidance and permission before I do this, because I do not want to scare anybody. I do not want to break any rules, and I do not want to do the wrong thing, because I'm an advocate, because I'm one of the few people out there that believe the UFO phenomenon is much more complex and much more disturbing than most people think it is." And then he looked at me, and before and then I finished, and I said, "And I think the government has done some things that is kind of bad with this subject." And then he looked at me and he goes, "What are some of those things that the government has done?" And I said, "Okay." And so I brought up a story, and I told him a story that I don't want to repeat here. And he goes, "Okay." And he rolls his eyes like saying something like, "Yeah, that's a difficult thing that you just said," And he says, and then I said, "Well, let me do something. Let me send you some material."
Oops, I muted myself. Okay. I hate talking to myself muted. It's just depressing. All right. Now check this out. He says he somehow gets this meeting with these insiders, these unnamed insiders. He can't give us names. He can't give us locations. He can't give us details. It's all vagaries. He had to go in, a machine gun post, leave his phone behind, all this other stuff, white noise in the air, right? Like this type of stuff. Okay. Which is, again, my frustration with all this. We have all this information. We know what's really happening. It's not like you think it is, but guess what? We can't tell you shit about it, right? Let's talk about Rendlesham, Shag Harbor, and Roswell. You see my frustration. Anyway, all right. So, any hot take there, Ash? And anything from this Reddit post that you think we should cover in the beginning here as we get into the Tom DeLonge conversation?
I think whenever Tom DeLonge gets interviewed, he's always like, "Oh, let me tell you my story," and it's like, dude, like we just want to know like your inside knowledge. Like, okay, we've seen you with generals, we see you with the UAP program. Like, just fucking get to it. So he's always like telling that story, and that's cool. It's like impressed. There's these skiffs, and like it's one of the most secretive things. It's above top secret clearance. I heard that there is the mechanism of secrecy. I just read this somewhere. I really wish I remembered where it was from. The mechanism for secrecy is different than any other. It is like you are not supposed to be able to get to this information. And these top secret people
are people who are supposedly dealing with this kind of issue or narrative that have basically obfuscated themselves from normal access from like elected politicians. And so these are the supposed people that he's gotten in contact with. Now, would they meet with Tom DeLonge? I mean, he does have resources. He has connections. Fuck it, why not, right? But he's probably meeting a gatekeeper or something at this point. But I mean, just damn, the guy doesn't seem like he can keep a good secret though. Like, and so I don't know. I feel like it would be compromising security. I wonder what story he said that the government. I mean, there's probably a million things that the government has done that's kind of like evil or bad.
Yeah,
I could give you 1,000 way, right?
Of them. Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
There's a shit ton of them.
Even just like underground bases. That's
actually, hold
real.
on. I got a clip here. What's his name? Slick Willie apologizing for these things. I'm not going to play it all, but this is the thing, right? They come out once in a while, they issue like a blanket apology, and then they keep on like just beating people down. Here we go. Hold on.
What was done cannot be undone.
There you go. Right? Yeah. Go Clinton.
Oh, that was like the CIA. Yeah, go ahead.
We can stop turning our heads away. We can look at you in the eye and finally say, on behalf of the American people, what the United States government did was shameful, and I am sorry.
There you go.
Only you.
That's it. That's what you get. What the American government did was shameful. And I'll tell you what, as the president of the United States, I am sorry. And that's what you get. That's what you get. Get the fuck out of here. Okay. Anyway,
wasn't he talking about like fucking mind control experiments?
He was talking about giving black people syphilis in the South. That's what he was talking about.
Jesus.
That's what he was talking about. Yeah. Like, it's like, come on, really? But again, so like, this is right. Like many people were like crippled, maimed, like possibly killed with this disease because they were trying to find a cure, or so they say. But who the fuck knows, right? Who really knows what was happening? But this is what we get, right? Like many decades later, you get some half-ass apology from some shitty president that's getting a BJ in the Oval Office, right? Fuck off. We're not that stupid, Jeffrey Toobin. We know what you're up to. We know what you're up to. Sorry. All right.
You know, it must have been pretty awesome to like be the president of America and be like, you know what? I want you to fucking tell Libya to suck my dick. And then that person leaves and you're like, you know what? That sounds like a good idea. Monica, come over here. And you're like the president of the United States in your fucking presidential chair, lean back.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
Must have been a good moment for him.
All right. Because I am sorry. I am sorry. All right. So anyway, so there we go. So Tom gets to the inside of whatever this is. He never admits it's the DOD or it's the he says he went to the Pentagon, but he never admits who he meets with, whether it's like bureaucrats, politicians, military, DOD, whoever it is, Department of Defense, the DOD. So who? Anyway, okay. So here we go. I'm gonna play this part 4 here. Wait, did I play 2, 3? I can't count. Just like last time. Let's play this and see if this is what he said. I don't know, but I listened to this 10 times, so you know. So if I'm confused, you understand. Here we go. Part 3.
And just for you, I'm not going to send it to anybody else that was in those rooms. And let me send you some material. And he says, okay. So I walk out of that room. And I say goodbye to 2 other people that were the heads of that institution that worked directly under that person. And I'm getting ready to leave, and I'm still in the most secure area of this place. And they say, I said, thank you so much for coming. Thank you for having me. I hope I get to speak to you guys again. But until that time, thank you. And they said, well, where are you going? And I said, well, I thought the meeting was done. They're, oh, no, why don't you stay a while? And then I was like, whoa, okay. So come over here. So we walk into another room and we sit down. And they said, what do you want to talk about? And then I look at them both totally baffled. And I'm like, well, you know what I want to talk about. And they said, what's that? And they look at me with a smirk. And I say, UFOs. And they don't look at each other. They stare at me. They're real. They exist. Who cares? And I say, well, it's a pretty big effing deal, don't you think? And they go, why? And so I name off about 10 reasons why. And the other guy looks at me, he's all, I just want to know how they work. Tell me how they work. And I said, well, I have some ideas. And I mentioned something. He says, well, that's one way. He said, what's another? And I say, consciousness. He said, now you're talking.
What?
So we proceeded to talk about consciousness for about 45 minutes.
Okay. All right. There we go. So Tom DeLonge blew the DOD's mind, or the Pentagon people, or the whoever's they are. Let's call them the modern day Majestic 12. He blew their mind by knowing through his cursory research, like we all do, on the internet and reading books, and Graham Hancock and Giorgio Tsoukalos and a mixed bag of Mick West and
David Wilcock, Corey Good.
Exactly. So you go through like this list of names and this list of sources, and Linda Moulton Howe, you know what I mean? And so it's fine. And some of those you may think are credible, some of those you may not, right? Or whatever you think of any of those names. However, somehow, some way, Tom DeLonge weasels his way in and just says, hey, I know what's up. And they're like, oh, please tell us more. All right, here we go. Let's a quick part 4, and then we can go anywhere you want from there, Ash. Scan this Reddit post real fast as I play this last clip, and then we'll go wherever you want. If anybody else is out there reading this Reddit post, again, I'm going to post it one more time in the thing. Anything you want to talk about in particular, I've clipped up this entire damn interview, and I have every damn clip, and I have notes on these clips. So we can't do it all. It'll take 5, 6, 7 freaking hours, and we can't do that. We can't have a part 2 or a part 3 if it takes that long. So let me know what you think. Part 4, this is Tom DeLonge and how he got in the inside, and how he's doing his television programs and his books and all these other things on UFOs. Here we go. Part 4, action.
We had a discussion for 55 minutes about consciousness. One of the more important things I'm going to share it with you guys this evening is that the UFO phenomenon is tied to consciousness. And for a lot of people, that's going to be very hard to understand, because they think it's this hokey-pokey, spiritual, interdimensional, like it's whatever your mind goes to, when people say the word consciousness. But what you need to understand is that the universe itself and all things in it contain some very, very interesting properties and life forms. And what the UFO phenomenon is connected to has a lot to do with not only with us as a life form, humanity. If you were able to take a person and lay them down and put measurement tools all around their body and measure frequencies, but you would be able to pick up the aura. You would be able to pick up electromagnetic frequencies that are emanating from the human being. And the human being, if that person was happy, sad, angry, jealous, all those things are certain types of frequencies. But for the basis of this conversation, let's say all the good things you feel or all the bad things you feel. Okay, the UFO phenomenon is interested in the bad things, and it brings along a lot of bad things. But the good news is that when a human being feels good, when a human being feels love, when a human being feels happiness, that energy, if I had the tools and I could walk up to you and measure it and show you on a computer screen, you have this energy that's like 98.84 hertz. It's coming from you right now. Whatever that frequency of happiness and love is it's a death nuke missile straight to the UFO.
Okay, there we go. And that's what got him in, right? That's what's got him into the DOD, to the insider, got him the CRADA, got him the which is the partnership with the CRADA. What's a CRADA mean? I don't even remember. But he's got a partnership with the actual. This is what you call a public-private partnership. They're basically government contractors now, right? This whole to the stars thing, right? Again, suspending my disbelief, trying to say Tom DeLonge's right about everything, and we're rolling with that tonight. So with all of that said, he basically was talking about what we talked about last show with the Best Damn Podcast, Bailey and John, and Archons, right? He's saying that if you have positive energy and you're able to channel that or bring that to you, you're able to, it's a death sentence. It's a nuke straight to the UFO. Is that what he said? Am I getting that right?
Yeah, that's a pretty bold statement. It's like, it's not a UFO, it's a demon, right? It's like, it's crazy how much, just like with the last show, it parallels with religion, right? Power of Christ compels you, stay away, demons. No, the light of God. And then it's like you exorcise the person. That's what we're talking about, an exorcism of like craft or abduction or whatever. So anyway, he got Tom DeLonge came in freaking hot, bro. He came in hot into that meeting. Imagine having a meeting with like senior officials of some secret program, and you're like, all right, aliens, consciousness, positivity, love defeats all. It's pretty nuts, but not a direction I thought it would have went in. Let's say that.
Oh, that's right. You haven't heard this yet. Okay, all right. So that's where we go. That's how we got in, right? And it seems like this has been parroted by many people. And once again, I defer to Tom DeLonge tonight, but many other people have said similar things. Okay, so all right, here we go. So then, now that's the thing. Let's play one more time. I think we need two more to kind of get where he's headed with this. He talks about enlightened frequencies, and he talks about abduction examples and how you can actually repel abduction, alien abduction. All right, let's play 6 and 7 real fast, or 5 and 6 real fast, and then we'll keep on moving here. Anything? Again, please spot something in the Reddit you want to talk about there, Ash, and then we'll head that direction after this. So Tom DeLonge says, enlightened frequencies and how to basically stave off an abduction incident. All right, here we go. A couple more, and then you get to pick where we head after this, Ash. Action.
Over the years, we found that out, and we are trying to understand it, but it's really, really complex stuff. And every turn we take, we find out something new. That might be a lie, that might be deceptive, that might be a trick, that might be who knows what. So you have all these incredibly heroic, amazing people working their asses off trying to understand something that humanity has never had to understand before. This whole idea of a bad government or a cabal, or people that are trying just to steal the tech for their own money and secret space program. It's just so dumb. It is not what's going on. It's a bunch of people like your dad, your uncle, your neighbors that are read into classified programs and that are changing their pants every other night because they're trying to figure out how to deal with something that is strange and crazy. But there's a really, really great set of things that have come from this. And one of those things is understanding the capacity of a human being that is enlightened, that has those frequencies of human consciousness that are aired on the side of love and happiness and with the way a child feels and all that stuff. We're going to have to accelerate that. And we're going to have to accelerate that in a way that people don't laugh at it.
Okay, right? So for all these wild claims, right, and all this shit that I've given Tom DeLonge, I think he's making some sense here, right? He's making a lot of sense. So far, so good, in my opinion, right? He's saying a lot of things that we've been saying, right? Like consciousness is a thing. It seems to be this shared phenomena that if we're all kind of in a dull state of it, that we can't enlighten other people, right? Like we end up, if like say 99% of the people are in like this weird brainwashed state, that they'll never be able to come out, right? And so you have to get more people that are kind of brains lighting up out there throughout the zeitgeist or through the ether or whatever it is, right? Sharing ideas. and helping people understand that television is brainwashing, that CNN and Fox News is a bunch of garbage, and they're telling you what they want you to believe, not what the reality of things are. Okay, so it's important, right? It's an important thing. Anything there, Ash?
No, let's keep going. Let's kind of let's get a nice meaty chunk and then kind of dive in.
Okay, I got one more.
The only thing.
Go ahead.
The only thing I would say is that with the whole alien phenomenon, when you look into it, there's this element of, and we've talked about this in past shows, about the human soul. There's a soul aspect, and you get into that, and you're like, wait, what the hell? Like, it's we're kind of taught that reality is like a tangible, physical thing, right? You knock on your desk, and that's what it is. And so when he says it's all about conscious technology, I'm thinking like, okay, there's just a network, like some sort of mechanical, technical network, and that we have the ability to tap into that network, communicate. But here's the problem with this secrecy and taking Tom DeLonge's word for it. It's like we don't actually know what he means. Like it's kind of like that phenomenon. If you whisper enough times, by the time you get to the end, the story's completely different. We don't really know.
Telephone game.
Yeah, like we weren't there in the meetings. We don't know if they're like, yeah, Tom. Yeah, like
exactly.
He's a freaking idiot. Like
treating him like the derpy idiot he looks like in the screen here, right? Exactly. Like, oh yeah, Tom. Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, Tom. Exactly. You get his perspective of it, his consciousness, his conscious perspective of it, and right. So maybe he thinks they're taking him super serious, and maybe they're not. Maybe they're not.
Right.
Anyway,
or he's getting validated, and then he's taking that as liberty to that his whole shtick is validated, whereas they were, you know what I'm saying. So it's like, yeah, we have to take his word for it. And,
exactly.
It's not a good place to be about the secrets of the universe.
Well,
take Tom DeLonge's word.
Well, not only that, then the insiders that also don't want to, they have these things they know, right? These super critical, important things humanity needs to know, but they can't tell you any of it. That's the part that drives me the most nuts. And so what's up, Millie? Millie says, I completely get what he means. And I understand. And at this point, I'm with him. Like, I don't disagree with him that much here at all. Like, there's a lot of this consciousness we need to build up together, and we need to be positive, and we need to love each other. And that's that, right? Like, to me, that's an easy message. And so literally, if it's such an easy thing to just like knock on the door of the Pentagon and stroll in there and be like, yo, what's up? Love and peace, guys. Yeah, I'm in, right? Well, why isn't anybody else doing that? Why haven't they let anybody else in? You see what I'm saying? There's some problems here. Anyway, so that's not what we're talking about tonight. Tom DeLonge is right all night tonight, and we're rolling with that. So here we go. Next part of this, and he's going to tell you about abductions and being able to call to higher powers to stave them off. And then we're going to go wherever you want after this. So please pick a spot if you have not yet, Ash, on that Reddit post, and we're going to go there next. Here we go. Tom DeLonge telling you about abductions, the phenomena, and how to stave it off.
Let me give you an example. You're in the middle at your house at some point, and you wake up and you have little gray aliens in your room, and you're being abducted. Do you know that if you call out the name of Jesus, that abduction could stop? Or if you call out the name of the source of galactic love, it'll stop. Or if you call out the name of Buddha, in the love that Buddhism has or whatever, it'll stop. It doesn't matter what you call out. It's the fact that you are projecting positive energy. And that is something that needs to be understood and studied. But it doesn't mean the stuff's not physical. It is. There still are spaceships that crash. There still are alien bodies. There's still, or biological body. There's still all these things that come with it, that we can back engineer, that we can make a new spacecraft, that we can have a better understanding of time and a better understanding of anti-gravity. But it comes with all these other things of human consciousness that we have to understand. And it's very, very complex and difficult. And what I found myself involved in is a little bit of all of it, with all these different groups of people that are involved. And you have physicists in one part studying, the crashed craft. And then you have medical doctors studying the medical issues with abductees or with people that have come in close proximity to one of these craft. And then you have aerospace military people that are seeing these things, and they're sending up things to go and take that thing out of the sky. And then you have psychologists that are meeting with people that have had an experience, and they're trying to understand why that person is having poltergeist experiences in their house, or healed, mysteriously healed. Their cancer's gone.
Okay. All right. There we go. Right. He said a lot there, but basically, to break it down, in terms of alien abductions, he says if you call upon positive energy and the source of universal positivity, meaning God or the energy or whatever it is, right? And kind of what I was getting at last show when I was trying to ask John and Bailey there about, is there another term when we say the word Jesus, because it freaks people out, right? Is there another term for this, like some sort of a universal energy, like the creator or whatever? Like again, terms so you don't get like people running off like screaming, Latter-day Saints, stop knocking on my door, right? Like that type of thing. And I think all of those things are important, the way you frame it. And like, I'm not particularly spiritual or religious, but I do believe that that human positivity can get a lot of things done, and we need to get those things together and not be so judgmental of each other and all the rest of that. So anyway, I mean, if you don't believe me about any of the things I say, right? Because trust me, anybody can say anything about anything, right? And they can profess that's the truth. Go back 2 years and listen to every word I've said. It hasn't changed. Nothing's changed. Okay, I've gotten maybe a little better on the air here, but nothing's changed. I'm giving the same message. Just FYI, right? Like, consistency is good, transparency is good, openness is good, acceptance is good, and all those things are always good. And there you go. So anyway, with that, takes on that. What do you think about that, Ash? So you call Buddha, you call Jesus, you can run away the abduction. What do you think Dr. David Jacobs would say about that?
So Dr. David Jacobs is a cynic, like the ultimate cynic as far as this kind of stuff. So like one would describe some of this as woo, but maybe not, right? I don't know, but he himself would steer away from this. Maybe this is the thing, maybe this isn't. I've heard that the gatekeepers are actually very religious, supposedly. Don't take my word for it. But definitely some gatekeepers are very religious, and they believe that these beings are demons. So it sounds as if we're talking about the same people. And what's Alonzo from the ATIP program, he on Twitter or somewhere, he talked about a conversation where he was like talking to someone, an insider, and they said, Alonzo, it's not what you think. These beings are demons. And it's validating that there's this sect that these gatekeepers that this is kind of how they believe. And who's to say that's not true, or it is true? Like, if the soul's real, maybe this is all one giant system. But I do feel like we are jumping to conclusions. And like I said, taking Tom DeLonge's word for it, where it could just be like genetically we have some authority over these beings. And so when we're fear-based and whatever, it doesn't work. But then when we call out and we're super confident, that increases our willpower and our ability to actually control these grays. Okay, I'm going to just freaking insert my theory right here. I'm just going to fucking put it right here.
Roll it, buddy.
Because I think it's
going
to keep coming up. I believe that the gray beings, that there's different variations, and maybe some of them are actually sentient beings that either have tampered with their genetics or not, right? But there definitely is, in the abduction phenomenon, which seems to be the most valid thing to me, there's some sort of hierarchy. There's like this these beings. I don't want to say it because I don't want to. I don't want to bring it up. I don't want to bring it up, Mike.
I told you. We're only doing this show if you don't mention those guys. Those guys, they're out of bounds right now.
I'm not going to mention that.
All right. Okay.
Okay, but I will talk about these grays.
Okay.
All right. I will talk about the grays that I suspect these grays are actually made from us to some degree. They supposedly have mouth slits that lead to nowhere. No digestive system in any capacity. They're clones. They're pop in the oven workforce, and they work on behalf of higher entities. And by higher, I don't mean like better. I just mean like entities that are in charge of them. So who's to say that we are not part of that lineage, part of that line, where we have a certain authority over them, these lesser beings? And so you see what I'm saying? Like, this hasn't. Who are these people? Do they really have a grasp on this? I'm kind of concerned that they don't. They don't have a grasp, or maybe like it is. It's all about love and the consciousness and the infinite. But I mean, if it's about that, then why aren't we having those conversations? And I guess we'll get to that, right? What do they believe? What do they think the aliens are doing? And what is their reason for secrecy? I guess that's where to go next, right? Let's get right to the meat and potatoes, the Archon stuff, right? So what do you guys think? What do you guys think out there? Am I being too pessimistic, or do you? I mean, this is a complex phenomenon. This is highly advanced technological beings. To just boil it down to demons just seems. I don't think it's. Whether you believe that's right or wrong, I think that's just not safe. It's not a safe thing to do. We really, really need to get a grasp on this. If they're this advanced, they have this amount of power, they could be operating within a rule set that we don't know. That would change the game, right? Maybe there's like a government and another agency within a government, and that's what they operate in. And there's rules, and they're not allowed to violate humans' free will because we're certain. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like, I don't feel like there's enough. There's a lot of data out there, and the general populace, you and me, the average Joes, are being kept from it. So we can't really put a fair picture together. So we kind of have to take Tom DeLonge's word for it, and that kind of scares me. That's all I'm saying. So,
and there's a lot there, right? There's a lot there. So again, right? The thing that got
there, yeah.
The thing that got Tom in was the word consciousness, right? They said, well, how do UFOs work? And he was like, consciousness. He said it like, with that derpy smile and the his amazing charisma. He's all consciousness, and he's like, never mind. Okay, so anyway, he does this thing. He smooth talks his way into the DoD and the Pentagon, and now he's the insider, right? Now he's the guy. So given basic information we all studied for years, right? Like years. But somehow we have an authority figure here. Again, I'm not calling him a spook because I promised I wouldn't, but I'm just saying. Okay. All right, so let's keep on trucking here. So anything there in that Reddit thread, let's pull that back up. Anything that you want to kind of go toward tonight, because there's so much here that literally it's hours and hours and hours just this conversation, because he's written books. He has co-authors. He's written several books. They have comics. They have what do you call them? What are those big thick comics? They're there's a word for it. When it's not like a little comic book, it's like a more accepted term for reading comics. It's like a graphic novel. There you go. That's what I'm looking for. He's like all these things. He's done television shows. He's working on movies. He's doing all these things, right? And a lot of it is fiction as well. So I don't know. Where do you want to go? There's a lot here. I can just read some of this red thread. You want to read some of the red thread? What do you want to do? After this?
He pretty much says every goddamn thing that there's to say, right? Like he says religions, mythology, consciousness. Let's go. I'm going to be a little bit biased and kind of go for some of the things that I would lean toward. But also, I really want to get out like, okay, let's sniff around and find what do these fucking guys believe, right? What do these guys believe? What is it? And let's try and see let's try and separate between what they believe and what Tom believes. Right? I want to know what they think. Like, I've heard all this other stuff. So let's talk about the Archon angle. I really think that's the thing. Like, whether they could believe that and not actually like it not be true, and it could be true, and they're like only telling us half the truth. You know what I'm saying? So let's get their official narrative here about the Archons. These the reason for secrecy.
Okay, I sent you the list. So what clip are we playing? Pick one, buddy. Pick one.
These are actually clips. Oh, I love this.
Those are clips. Great, Mike. You pick the one. You pick the one. I'll play it. You say play 11. I'll play 11. You got it, buddy.
Okay, so they talk about religions. We'll come back to that. Magic teaching, UFOs. Okay, let's talk about 9.
All right, let's play
9 and 10.
All right, let's play 9 and 10. Now again, this is
9, 10, 11.
Okay, 9, 10, 11.
That's 9, 10, 11, 12.
9, 20, 28, 9, 10, 11, 12, 50.
Going twice. Twice.
Going twice. All right, so we're going to play. Now, again, if you're just joining us, what's up, Axel? I see you there. Thanks for hanging out. I know Axel from Twitter. He's called on the show before. We are going half Gnostic tonight with the Archons. But we're basically doing the world according to Tom DeLonge. And Tom DeLonge is a UFO insider, right? He's got connections, he says. We're not going into the credibility of the connections. We're going into Tom DeLonge is completely right tonight, and we're kind of living in his universe right now. So here we go. Ash says clip 9, 10, and 11, right? Here we go. And regarding that, let's see. Clip 9 is this. UFOs are bad news. Let's see what Tom has to say. Action.
Well, guess what? UFOs are bad news. Deal with it. They just are. But they're going to come out and say, this is what we found out, this is what we did, and this is what we're doing, and this is where human race is going. And guess what? Consciousness is incredible. And guess what? There is a God, but it's not a God that looks like Buddha or has Birkenstocks or whatever. It's it's an infinite, beautiful energy that connects all of us, that creates stars, okay? That creates galaxies. Like, it's a powerful energy. And that energy is very important. And when humanity figures out how to be more in touch with that, and I don't know how yet. Like, I'm not saying I figured this out. I just know the UFO phenomenon is attached to that subject. And when I was behind machine guns and 4 layers of crazy doors and in a secure facility, that is all the head scientist wanted to talk about.
There you go. There's part 9, Ash. Hot take on that, buddy.
That kind of plays into the whole soul thing we talked. I mentioned earlier. Like, you look into UFO stuff and you're like, wait, what? Souls and universal energy, and God, how does that even, like, anything that we don't understand is not magic. It's just basically science we haven't gotten to yet. How the hell does that work? Some universal consciousness energy or whatnot. And it sounds like if the scientists are excited about it, then it's probably something they're still kind of exploring, right? They're trying to figure out. Interesting stuff. Let's keep going. Meat and potatoes.
All right. Number 10, Tom DeLonge's world. Action.
Like a moron and the idiot I am, I
Wait, I'm sorry. I have to just play that part again. One more time. Tom DeLonge's world. Action.
Like a moron and the idiot I am, I did something that I don't want to say here because I don't want other people doing it, of trying to have an experience. And it worked. And I woke up in the middle of the night with hundreds of voices spiraling through the tent. But I had that sleep paralysis where I couldn't move. And I knew at that moment I was really in over my head, because I was awake as I am now, but I can't move, and I hear hundreds and hundreds of voices, but I can't make out any words. I close my eyes and I open them again, and the fire is out, and 2 or 3 hours has passed. So let me give you an idea of something that happened not too kind of recently. When someone comes from a certain place and sits down with you in a very private location and says, there are no coincidences with the phenomenon. I need to know about your contact. And that's a true story. And so I had to go in and spend 10 hours talking about it and a lot of other things, but it's, people can laugh, but when you talk to, let me see how I could say this. I was briefed on a matter, and it was a very important event that went down. And the description of the event was part military, part spiritual. So what do you walk away with that? What does that mean? What does that mean? Yeah. And that's really how people have to look at all this stuff. Don't break out the Bible, break out every ancient text and put it all together and then come up with a hypothesis, and it's not spiritual like the religions we built on those texts. It's spiritual like many bands of light in the universe and many things we can't see unless we have night vision goggles on and a flashlight or something. There's a lot of things that exist here that are real and you just can't really see it, it's.
Okay, there you go. You got it, Ash. So now, what's he saying here? I've listened to this whole damn thing twice, so you don't want my take. I want your take. I want your fresh, hot take, your piping hot take, Ash Clown. What's up, buddy? Clown shoes. Do I
have a safe word? Let's keep going. It's kind of
we don't have a safe word.
He's saying the same shit over and over again. He's saying it again. Consciousness, AT presence. Okay, all right, cool. We get it. We get what you're saying. So let's keep going.
All right, here we go. He continues with this, and this is pretty much chronologically the 9, 10, 11. Here we go. Action.
It's playing with you. Okay.
Okay.
And that's not a good thing. But everyone there wants to see one so bad that it's going to perform for you.
Right.
And you don't want to be doing that. And I'm not saying all life out there is bad. I'm saying is people just don't understand. And that's why it's time that people understand. And the whole, there isn't only one type of UFO either. It's like you can't sum it all up and say there's only one type of human being.
Right.
But what you don't want to have happen, and this is honestly, check this out. You want to know why I got brought in to the most secret groups ever? Is because I went in there and I said, something's wrong here. Let me tell you the way I see it. And they said, okay. I said, the way I see it is you have something flying around, and every once in a while it lands and performs a miracle, and it creates a religion. It goes up in the sky, and it does something crazy, and people kind of love it and clap and whatever. But when you really look at it, all the religions are different, and all the experiences are different. And what happened after that? Well, we just started killing each other.
Right.
We really started killing each other, and no one stopped to all look and go, wait, what did you see? What did you see? What was that thing that did that dance? Oh, my God. Oh, my real God.
Right.
What is that thing? And I said, so I went to them with a thesis called a cargo cult. Cargo cults were in World War II where indigenous tribes that had never seen man watched planes come in and drop off ammunition in a jungle. And to this day, they still worship those planes. They're worshiping the cargo. And I said, we're all cargo cults. Me and Peter Levinda created this thesis for the nonfiction books.
There you go, cargo cults, right? So what was that movie with the Coke bottle that falls out of the sky and some African tribe, it lands on the ground and so they worship the Coke bottle? What was that? That's an old movie from the early 80s, late 70s. I don't know. I can't remember, but a movie starts like that. The cargo cult. So it's a hypothesis that him and his co-writer created, and yet it was in a movie in 1977. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, I was supposed to not shit on Tom DeLonge, so I'm going to shut up. A hot take on that. What do you think?
Well, that's actually a pretty interesting point in general, where you say, "Hey, it's just like that movie." Well, I mean, that in my last Ash the Reptilian episode, you check me out on YouTube, Ash the Reptilian.
Shameless plug. Shameless plug.
Super shameless, bro. I don't even care. I don't
good,
experience shame.
There's
I'm
no
a reptilian.
Shame. There's no shame here.
We literally don't even feel that emotion. It's just
we left shame
all
behind 2.5 years ago. Keep on trucking, buddy.
Don't have a Zoom call with me because I will not get embarrassed. You know what I'm saying? So
I know
just
what you're saying. Boobin' tubin'.
What was I saying? What was I talking about? Now I'm thinking about the
you got derailed.
Call. That's all I can think about.
You got wait. You got derailed by flogging the dolphin on a Zoom call. All right, the gods must be crazy. That's the name of it. There we go.
Oh yeah,
the
yeah,
gods
yeah,
must
yeah.
be crazy.
Yeah.
Thank you. The gods must be.
Okay.
Yes,
okay. So we've people have proven that the CIA pretty much had a direct link to Hollywood, and in my last episode, I show how Stargate, that freaking movie, has so much parallel to all the. It's like a just like a trail mix bowl of truth. You know, if you remote view the past, you can get experience. You can like get knowledge, almost like a Stargate, right? What was the program in the CIA for remote viewing?
Project
Stargate. Called Stargate. Project Stargate. Yep. Okay, so that remote viewing group I follow, they remote viewed the pyramids and they saw that, you know, it's literally almost the freaking movie episode of Stargate minus the actual Stargate. There's these beings convincing humanity to build the pyramids and stuff. So they could have been putting truth out there and getting us used to it. They could pick any freaking truth they want and just give it to us. And we'd be like, yeah, I know that movie, right? Independence Day. Encounters of a Third Kind.
The gods must be crazy. The gods must be crazy. That's the movie. They Millie and
Pepsi
Larry.
Can.
Yeah. Millie and Larry dropped it in the chat. So that's the movie I was looking for. The gods must be crazy. Thanks, guys, for piping that in. I couldn't think of it, but yeah, exactly. Like the Pepsi bottle falls out of the sky, and then this tribe that's never seen it worships it. Right? Okay, fine.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fine. Cargo.
There's an old movie in black and white where Martians invade the planet and they're mantis beings. I swear to God.
You weren't supposed to bring that up.
I know I wasn't supposed to bring it.
But I wasn't supposed to shit on Tom either, so I've done that several times. So you're safe. You're safe. All right.
I was like, what? I was like, wait, what? Like, you know, this is a long time ago. So anyway, yeah, like, so the God narratives, I mean, it does make sense. Like, I don't know if you've ever watched Rick and Morty, they like play with this idea. Rick goes to like some planet and they're literally just his battery. Like their planet produces excess energy that powers his battery, and he lands and they think, they're like, worshiping him, it's Rick, and he's flipping the bird to them, and Morty, like, his partner looks at him like, what the hell? He's like, yeah, I told him it was peace among worlds, you know, and he's giving him the bird. And it's funny.
Instead of a handshake, it's a flip off. I love
it. He's flip. Yeah, and then like when he goes to the tribesmen, they're like, he's like, fuck you, Rick, and he's like, what'd you say to me? He's like, you mean you said that was like, you know, like love and prosper, and he's like, yeah, fuck you too, you know. And that show's funny because it plays with all these advanced concepts. That's like an advanced concept, and it's like someone said this in the chat earlier. I read that in the book. I saw this. It's like, that's on purpose, you know, whether they're disclosing the truth or they're setting us up, it's on purpose, you know, or maybe it's like in the astral record in the back of our minds. Who knows? But it's interesting. You can kind of like, I've seen this video before, you know. Sorry, that was a tangent, but
no, you're good.
Keep going, right?
That's back to that predictive programming, right? So like. But this is okay. So now that's actually a good little brief segue here, and kind of a derail. But like, okay, so if we have predictive programming, right, with like the gods must be crazy or Close Encounters of the Third Kind, movies like this, right, that are kind of, you know, Ancient Aliens, shows like this that are like literally airing almost 24/7 on the History Channel, you know, saying, you know, ancient astronaut theorists say yes, right, like a nondescript group of people that always say yes, aliens did it. Right? I mean, is it healthy? Is it not healthy? I think that's probably the question here. And are we chasing ad revenue at some point? Or is it the CIA and predictive programming and some sort of soft disclosure? I think it's a good conversation to have, but maybe for another time. We've probably had it in the past a little bit. We'll have it in the future as well. But I mean, it's hard to say, right? So, okay, so explain to me this. Now with that said, how come Tom DeLonge can put out a show about UFOs sniffing around nukes and suddenly it's relevant when there's been dozens of different series in the past putting out very similar stories, like the exact same instances told in very similar ways with slightly different production? You know what I'm saying? Again, part of the problem I have with all this. I think when we boil it all down to just a few people knowing the true answers, but they can't tell us a damn thing. They can just stress, oh, you guys need to love each other, and that's that, right? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, it's a good point. It's like, like unless it's coming from X, Y, or Z, you guys won't listen, and then you're giving them all your power. And I'm not saying this to the audience here. I mean, a lot of smart cookies in the audience, and they don't necessarily always agree with us, and so I can only imagine how critical they are of like mainstream kind of narratives, and that's a good thing to have. They call us conspiracy theorists, they poop on us, but we're the canaries in the mine, right? Alex Jones is the canary in the mine, and they took that motherfucker out.
I don't know. I still hear him on the radio out here in Vegas, just FYI. 3 a.m. he's on at, because I'm up at 3 a.m., but he's on KBET, 680 a.m. Las Vegas. He's still on the radio. So I don't know if they really took him out. Like, you know what I mean? I also wonder. Like,
he's still around, but they clipped him. They clipped the wing.
They did. They took him out on Spotify. But again, right? So how many millions of followers did he have? And like it took 250 people to take Alex Jones off Spotify. that pretty much tells you how the world works. They're like 250 people like, I'm offended. And they're like, all right, 5 million gone. 5 million followers gone. And all the ad revenue that goes with it. Jesus. I'm telling you. I'm telling it is not.
Yeah, he makes good money.
Yeah. I'm telling you. Okay. Anyway. All right. So you got a list of the clips. You got the Reddit thread. Anything in here you want to again? So I've been bogarting the initial. So what else do you want to talk about here regarding the Reddit thread? Anything that Tom DeLonge has said that he think we should talk about tonight? There's a ton here. Like he goes all over the place, right? He said that if you're abducted by aliens, you can call out to Jesus or Buddha. It doesn't matter. And again, so I asked John this and Bailey this in the last show that we did covering Gnosticism and archons. Is there another term for the source? Right. Like you could even take from like the Matrix or Neo and this type of thing, right? The source they use as an electronic source. But is there like a spiritual source that's not named Jesus? That was a question I had. It sticks in my mind. Like I said, only because people run away when you say Jesus because they think, they think that you want their money when you say Jesus. You know what I mean? Right. So anyway, yeah, go ahead. A lot here. Where do you want to head with this? There's a lot in this thread.
No. Yeah. So to sum that up, guys, let's do like the Cliff Notes. You're saying that these the consciousness is its own thing. It's a superior technology than we would take it credit for. That UFOs have influenced religions in the past for whatever reason, and that necessarily may not be good, right? And so, he goes on to say that a lot of the myths are true in some way or form. Greek gods, Thor, a lot of these myths are somewhat true. And from the remote viewings, the remote viewers found that, and you can, take this or leave it, that the Noah flood thing was literally, there was a UFO hovering there. It activated its gravity generator and pulled the water to one side of the lake so they could walk across. How fucking crazy is that? So the remote viewing it, that's what they came up with. And it's easy to dismiss that stuff. I understand. But it's just a data point, right? We're just gathering data. And the same thing with Tom DeLonge. We're giving him the benefit of the doubt. We're going to collect some data. Let's go through some of these other things. So he mentioned it was the UFOs are playing with you, create religions. He says a lot of the myths are true. We'll gloss over that. that magic is real, that Atlantis is real. These are some of the more outlandish claims that may or may not be validated by his people. Let's go to 16 because that's relevant to the kind of crazy shit I talk about.
Bam!
UFO hive mind.
Bam!
No souls and clones.
Bam! Look at that. Ash just said play clip 16. You got it. Action.
The UFO phenomenon has a hive mind, okay? These creatures they potentially don't have souls. They are like clones. And they worship their own technology to some degree. But they feed off fear and negativity. And the one thing that they cannot stand, it's like dropping, it's like jumping into a pool of acidic, like nuclear waste that would incinerate you in 2 seconds. Because they cannot stand the frequency of elevated human consciousness.
Right.
So what's the best way to keep us from elevating our consciousness? You crash a craft and the transistor pops up. And you get video games and iPhones and all these things that you walk around like what? A cyborg.
Right.
A soulless little hive mind, all getting direction from devices. Now we go, no way, because I'm visiting RollingStone.com and you're visiting like whatever, and someone's playing Halo and the other person's watching Jurassic Park, on the movie theater. That's not the point. The whole point is that we're so focused on these things that you're not closing your eyes, taking a deep breath, realizing that the present moment is great, realizing that you're part of a connected system like the damn movie Avatar where the thing's alive, the whole planet's alive and all the trees are connected. Remember that movie?
Oh, yeah.
It's that kind of thing.
Sure.
It really is that kind of thing. Do you know they studied depression on people that walked out of Avatar because people were so inspired, and then they walked out and they were in just like a bad little parking lot with oil stains and realized that their earth isn't connected? Because it's supposed to be. Our earth is, and we're supposed to sense that.
And we're supposed to sense that, right? You go see Avatar, everything's connected. You go out to the parking lot and it's puddles of mud. Lucky mud, by the way. Yeah, I'm talking to you out there. You lucky mud out there. I'm talking to you. Yeah, what the hell, right? What the hell? Ash just said play clip 16 and we did. How'd you feel about that, buddy?
Bam, UFO hive mind. And that they are like technologically addicted or driven, right? And it's kind of like a little bit, sounds a little familiar. And that they may not have souls, like they're just bots, or just AI wrapped in biological whatever. But it is interesting. So to me that validates a little bit of, based on my research, which could be fucking bullshit. Let's be honest, I could be completely wrong and be pivoting off something that's stupid. It's possible. But that's interesting. And so he's claiming that like they don't like positive energy, they don't like happiness, and that they feed off negative energy. Which is I've heard that before, right? And that usually kind of that conspiracy usually has like reptilians associated with it. Now, I don't think he talks about any specific aliens or types. I think that's like super forbidden.
No, he does actually.
Because you don't.
He does.
Oh, he does.
Yeah, in this interview, again, this is like a 3+ hour interview, right? So, like I said, I tried to peel Jimmy Church out of this as much as possible. Like I said, Jimmy Church is amazing, and it's not that. It's just that it's too fucking long to go through the whole thing. So I too fucking DeLonged it and just cut it out, and we just talked about DeLonge instead, and basically cut it down to what he said. So there's a lot there, and so he does say that there are different entities. There are different things, different aliens, different types of aliens. Like this is his take, right? And so this is what got him into the DoD, knocking on some doors, right? Clearly, it wasn't his, how many million Instagram followers or his, his shitty records he's made that have tons of millions and millions of sales. It wasn't any of that. It was his fat, thick, unbelievable knowledge that nobody's ever heard of before that got him into the DoD, right? Again, like I said, we're role playing tonight. Tom DeLonge's always right, so I'm going to choke back my words and leave it at that. But okay, now, given all that, anything else in this Reddit thread you think we should hit tonight? And I think we should do. I think we should do a part 2 because now here's the thing, right? So this interview was in. I think this is amazing because you can go back in time, right? And you can do this to me too. By the way, because I'm on the record, right? Like I've said tons and tons of words. Like I don't even know how many tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands or hell, I don't even know at this point, maybe millions of words I've spoken on the air, on record. You can go back and you can parse and you can calligraphy them or whatever. I don't recommend that. Don't do that. But I'm just saying, like, it's all out there, right? And so all the things I've said, you can parse and you can do the things with. But this guy, interestingly, we're able to go back to August of 2016 and see what he said then. And then now in 2020, 4+ years later, we're able to go and actually see his project that he's working on. Right? You see what I'm saying? So all the claims he made 4 years ago, we have the fruit of those labors now that we can actually critique, which we're not going to do tonight. Because again, like I said, this can go 2 and 3 and 4 and 7 and 10 parts if we wanted to. Like there's so much here of all the things he's claimed. He's written books, right? Several books. Okay, so anyway, you get the point. It's interesting to go back in time and hear what they said years ago and then come to the future and be like, okay, so with all your insider knowledge and your shitty punk music, you knocked on the door and this is what we get? Because we get the product now. We get the fruits of the labor, which we're not talking about tonight, but we can get that, right? You see what I'm saying there, Ash? What else do we need to touch on this Reddit article? Reddit thread, I mean.
So I sent you the order I think that we should wrap up with. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait,
okay.
3, 6, 7 more clips I think we should blow through. There's 2 topics really that are being explored there. The aliens, their parasitic relationship with humanity. This is what Tom DeLonge says. And then how that justifies the behavior of this group, of this secretive entity. Because I don't know about you, but that's what I want to talk about,
Okay, perfect. Let's find out. Here we go. Ash says play clip 18. This is in the words of Tom DeLonge. Action.
The universe is teeming with life. There is a life form that wants you to feel that way. So don't feel that way. And then you're free and clear. It sounds so strange. I get it. I know it sounds. Why do you think I'm trying to whiteboard out the entire thing in documentaries, books, and movies? Because it's a difficult thing for people to understand in one conversation. It sounds like stupid magic, hokey pokey stuff. I get it. But why don't you sit with the guys I'm sitting with and tell them they don't know what they're talking about? It's just like, it makes sense. It all makes sense. It's unreal, man. It's like we're capable of something insanely good, and we're just around the corner from it. that's where I have a lot to say that I can't say. I will tell you this: it's not going to be the president or Congress. The government doesn't deal with the UFO topic the way you would expect they would, right? They're not in charge of it the way you expect that they would be. It's a tricky subject, and with very, very competent, heroic people. And I'm not saying that because I was told to say that. I'm saying that because I know what the hell's going on, and I step back and go, oh my God, I don't want that job. I do not want that job. And if I was ever given it, I don't know what I would do. I don't even know. I have no idea. So it's a responsibility, and it's unreal. Where a few people wear the burden for everybody else so you can go to the movies on a Saturday night and laugh and drink and have a radio show and do your thing and be happy and go to the walk on the beach.
Right.
While other people don't get to do that. Other people are walking around with a briefcase with multiple PhDs and they can't even sleep because they're dealing with something that's really difficult.
Really difficult. There you go. There was your clip. What do you think about that? Clip 18. You're up, Ash. What's up, buddy?
Let's keep going. What is this difficult thing? I've confided in you, Mike. In my research, some of these things scare the shit out of me, and I don't know if it should or should not, right? But the problem is I feel like I'm like out in left field. I'm like, there's like a fire, right? And it's like growing and it's growing, and I'm like, hey, is this gonna be a problem? And then like people are like, what are you talking about? I'm like, this fire right here. Like, there's no fire. I'm like, what? You're crazy. I'm like, oh, I guess I'm crazy. There is no fire. And then like, something starts catching fire, like a bush. It's just getting a little bigger. I'm like, oh man, I don't know. I think there's a fire. And like, nah, you're crazy. This is fire. Oh, all right, I don't know. But like as time goes on, like it does validate like some of the theories I have. And it is like, okay, if there's aliens, they can't all be good, right? And the technology is advanced. So there has to be bad aliens. There has to be threatening technology. And it probably is a burden, like to kind of understand these things. And so, it was their secrecy because this is just like sucks and they don't want people to know, right? I mean, it's possible. It is possible that these guys were heroes and they kept it a secret. It's also possible these guys are fucking assholes and they've just been abusing power and for a long time. Or maybe it's a mixture of the two. It's some ambiguous, the gray area, right? Things are usually in the gray area. So let's keep going. Let's find out about these naughty aliens and this scary shit. Right?
Okay, we're about to do that. But hold on. Let me just throw this in there too. This is the weird part, right? So are you telling me that the government who pulled out Operation Northwoods and planned terrorist attacks to, false flag operations, like syphilis and black people in the South, like there's literally an unbelievable amount of really dirty, insidious shit the government has come up with, like next level type of shit. And they've actually perpetrated. You don't believe me? You don't believe me? We'll do it again.
What was done cannot be undone.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You want an apology?
We can end the silence.
For all the terrible shit, here you get.
We can stop turning our heads away.
Yep.
We can look at you in the eye.
That's right.
And
Slick
finally
Willie.
say, on behalf of the American people,
Yep.
what the United States government did was shameful.
Shameful.
And I am sorry.
And he's sorry. Holy shit. We're all set.
Dude, every time I'm going to laugh.
We're all back to square, aren't we? Right? For all that dirty, insidious bullshit they did, we're all back to square because Slick Willie said back in the day, we're sorry. Fuck the fuck off. How about you stop doing insidious shit? How about that? Okay, so now with all of that said, now this is the problem I have. So are you telling me that at the Majestic 12, quote, Majestic 12 level of the government, that we have people that can't even think in insidious levels, next level type shit, right? When they did like the Gulf of Tonkin and they did the Iraq war with the babies in the incubators and the whole bit, right? Like there's an unbelievable amount of bullshit disinformation that people use as propaganda, right? And it's like face level propaganda. So are you telling me the actual people that run the compartmentalized UFO programs aren't into insidious angles, right? And so Tom DeLonge goobs up to the fucking thing, knocks on the door, and is like, hey guys, it's Tom. Love and peace. Let me play this song for you. And they're like, yep, you're a genius. Why did we never think of putting programs on the History Channel? Anyway, let's go to your next clip. I promised I wouldn't do that.
You're supposed to be supporting.
I promised I wouldn't do that, but it drives me nuts. It drives me nuts. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Come on. Mm-hmm. Like, why would they not contact Linda Moulton Howe? You know what I mean? Who has credibility in the field. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like they're like, look, like if I was the government, I wanted to like make the alien presence known, I would just throw some money at Kim Kardashian and say, "Hey, would you put this shit on your Instagram?" And bam, the fucking population would know. You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on. No,
Right.
we need derpy Tom DeLonge to walk up and knock on the Pentagon door. Okay, I promised I wouldn't do it, and I did.
Bro, that Miley Cyrus story, I found like 10 links to that freaking story.
Yeah, it keeps coming.
You know? Yeah. But here's the thing though, like there is that side, and I agree with you. But on the other end of this spectrum, the government doesn't like. I think that citizens have the convenience of living in a happy-go-lucky world. You know, everything's fine, everything's good, and so you're insulated from like hard choices that potentially could be made. And you know, there's the pro of not being aware of that, and you can live conscious-free, but you may benefit from that, right? Like so the CCP is would say is an evil communist regime. Well, unless they took over the world and they rewrite history, then they're not evil.
Yeah, then they're bringing
you know
freedom, like George Orwell in 1984. yeah, exactly.
Then they're not evil. So it's kind of like the means justifying the end or whatever, you know. So, you know, it's tough. I suspect that these groups have abused their power, but have done good for mankind, but at the expense of us, at the expense of aliens. You know what I'm saying? They're like serving their best interest, and their best interests also like is their families, taking care of their families and taking care of us because we are a resource. You know, we make the stuff, we do this. So I don't know, man. It's tough when you kind of get into this kind of area, the moral ambiguity of this kind of thing. And but you know, be aware of that. Like they're gonna push some like fucking fairy tale roses, kind of like good guy versus bad guy. And you know, are these aliens bad, or you know, like we eat chickens? Are we bad?
Yeah, we're
the fucking chickens will probably. The chickens probably fucking think we're bad, bro. The chickens are probably like, yo.
And the sheep and the tri-tip is so good. The beef, the cattle, oh my God, they think we're terrible. We feed them like crazy. Goddamn. We feed them well, though.
Burgers are good.
Burgers are good.
Holy shit, burgers are good.
I got a couple great. I didn't eat any tri-tip today, but I wanted some, so it's just good. And again, right, like again, this is the what's the term? I fumbled on it last time with John, and he covered me. There's like a cognitive dissonance. That's the term I'm looking for, right? It's like we love these things, but then we hate murdering animals, and yet we're murdering animals to love these things. You know what I mean? It's all the same thing. I'm not saying be vegan. I'm not trying to make any social commentary on that. I'm just saying that like it's bizarre how that we're able to wrap ourselves into layers and layers of this and that to justify this or that. You know what I mean? That's all. Anyway, so
yeah, no. Like if you, I eat meat, but you know, you can't deny. If you eat a dozen chicken wings, that's 6 fucking chickens.
Only 6? Only 6?
It's six lives in one sitting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I mean, is there a reptilian? Like,
wait. But like, was it barbecue or honey mustard?
Ooh, man, that's probably 50-50, you know?
Okay, I could just check.
I kind of like the dry rubs too.
Yeah, I'm just,
you know, that's
pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I like it hot. I like them all, you know. I like all those flavors, you know. As long as there's a dead animal, you know.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
My favorite is goat.
All right. Well,
so he's going to get to the point where these negative entities, these negative aliens are feeding off of us. But like, is that evil? Are they the good guys to defeat? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Like, yeah. I mean, exactly could they just hang? Could they just like hang out when we have a political debate or like a fight on Twitter, and will that feed their belly? That's not too bad. We're gonna do that anyway, you know. So anyway,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true. Okay. So let's go. So we're gonna go to the next one you called out. Let's see. The next clip is 32. Here we go. So we're going to go to clip 32. And look at that. I'm so good now. I can just mute and unmute
in the host room and can manage your callers from the call-in studio.
I was bragging about how good I was, and then I bombed myself. All right, so
that's always how it is, man.
Yeah, right, exactly. As soon as you start bragging, this shit like ends up on your shoe. Okay, so here we go. So phone lines are back up. If you guys want to be part of the show, we're gonna wind this up because this is at least a two-parter. But we're talking about Tom DeLonge's world, okay, and how he is describing. He has insider information that he learned from the Pentagon or the DOD or whoever else, right? He's got all kinds of people. He can't tell us who they are, but he knows. And I've got clips of him saying, no, I'm not guessing. I'm telling you, I know, right? Because there's, like I said, 33 clips here of a 3-hour interview of what Tom DeLonge said. One damn interview. This is going to be a multi-part thing. If you're in, Ash, I'm in. Let's do this. Let's parse the shit out of what this guy said, but not because I'm not trying to expose him, because I don't think anybody in particular needs to be exposed like this. I think that like anybody else, there's a lot of truth in what the man says. Just like there's a lot of truth in what I say, a lot of truth in what Ash says, or anybody else says, right? And I'll give him that credit because we are people and we're trying to guess the truth. However, I still believe no person has all the truth. And so there you go. Defending my shitting on Tom DeLonge. Now you know. Let's play your next clip, which was which one? Which one was the clip? Give me next one over. Come on, buddy.
Oh God, tell me we got through more than one.
No.
Oh God, one. No, we didn't. All right, let's blast through. 32, 21, 23, 25. So okay, 32 to 21.
32 action.
I am telling you once again, listen to my words. That is what's going on. Our behaviors were designed to hate each other. So we wouldn't all put the weapons down and grab each other's by the arms and look up and saying, you bastards, like they didn't want that, divide and conquer. And guess what? At some point here, it's going to change and everyone's going to stop and look up and say, holy cow, wow, we were duped,
100%.
These guys over in Iran and Syria are our brothers. But, we were led astray the same way they were, But the problem is we still do have those issues. We still have ISIS. It's not like that's going away. But you kind of have to wonder and you have to understand what's fueling that hatred.
And it makes
suggestion, matter displacement, holograms,
right.
Religious experience.
Right.
It's like all that stuff is what created it. Yes. No, do you think he's a moron and just went up there and started saying, I mean, I get it. He's like an older dude that said crazy shit, but no, I mean, it's like, no, he knew what he was saying.
Okay. We're going to take
And guess what? Oh, last thing I'll say is guess what?
What?
Him and Gorbachev were working together.
Oh, there you go. He's talking about Reagan and Gorbachev working together. We'll get to that another time. But Bailey mentioned in the past, and back in the chat there, what's up, Bailey? Shout out to Bailey on the show last week with the Best Damn Podcast. Kind of bringing us together. Like the thing that will bring us together as a human race is an invasion of aliens. Ronald Reagan said that back in the 80s. Yep. Go look it up. I'm not lying. I don't have that clip, but we're going to keep on trucking here. So here we go. What's up, Axel? I see you there. Sorry, go ahead.
What's interesting about that is Linda Moulton Howe supposedly got a hold of like a conversation that they had to Reagan where he was disclosing, and they were talking about my mantis beings, but they called them tarantuloids, and they were the biggest threat to humankind. So that's Reagan supposedly getting briefed about the UFO subject. Tarantuloids.
I'm pretty sure tarantuloids is some sort of alien slur. Just FYI. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, we're going to get banned now.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you did it, not me. You said it. You said it, not me. All right.
Well, you know what they say about tarantuloids.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, shit. Here we go.
Coming from a reptilian.
Shut up, Ash.
So
shut up. You're going to get us taken off the air. Clip 21, action.
I don't have an opinion. I have the truth. I know why.
And?
There's two reasons.
Okay.
All right, calm down.
Number one reason is, how do you think we finance the defense for this subject? We need all the help we can get. The second reason is, The technology itself is not hidden from us. It's not hidden from the people that are paying for it. It's not hidden from you and I, and because people want to like hoard the patents. Who do you think it's hidden from? The UFO. They don't want the UFO to know what we've accomplished. It's a game.
Interesting.
And people got to get off their soapbox and think that all these conspiracies point to people ripping them off of money, ripping them off of knowledge, or it's all ego-based dumb stuff that these guys have no time to deal with. You know, they're dealing with something that's hard enough as it is, and they don't need to stop and come to your living room and saying, "I'm not trying to make it hard at the gas pump for you." You know, it's like, it's, you know, go like, you know, go to war with a 19-year-old and see what's important when he's being shot at.
Right.
You know, it's like, that's the point.
When
So the breakthroughs that we have are competitive advantage to the battlefield.
Okay, now hold on. So he's saying that whatever reverse engineering of UFOs, right? Because this like, again, we're kind of skipping out of order in this interview, and this is from Jimmy Church, August 2016. Just Google Jimmy Church, Tom DeLonge. You'll get this interview, the entire thing in its entirety. Okay, it's 3+ hours. We're trying to chop it down less than that and give you some commentary on it. Right now, he said right there, did he or did he not say that they're not trying to chop down your gas prices? Right? They're not, like, the government is not trying to do all this dirty shit. What are they trying to do instead? I know you heard that. I know you heard what he said, Ash.
Defeat the mantis.
Kind of, right? That's kind of what he said. He wasn't, you know.
This is
like,
for your own good. We're doing it for you. We're heroes.
Heroes.
Mike, we're heroes.
Clearly.
Heroes.
Clearly. Yeah. I don't know. Like, there's a lot of really, really weird shit in here that's going down. And,
But, man, if you think about it, though, like, pretend like you're them and there's a superior force. If you follow that kind of line of thinking, it does validate some of these things. Like, your priority, your disadvantages, they're technologically superior to you. So your priority is to catch up as fast as possible, because a technologically superior opponent wins. I mean, we've seen that. The Native Americans, the samurai, right? Like, it just is what it is. So you have to play catch up. You have to not fight, and you have to catch up as fast as possible. But here's the problem: the enemy could be anything. The ally could be anything. They're not telling us. We don't know the battlefield. We don't know the scope. Whether that's because, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe these aliens like to dupe humans to gain benefit. If they're creating these hybrid humans, a lot of these people believe the woo-woo that aliens are good. And then they go to Dr. David Jacobs and they're like, oh, I don't like this, because he starts kind of pulling memories out they don't like. So maybe there is this 4D chess. Like, this is one of the pieces that I actually am willing to believe. There's this 4D chess game going out with a vastly superior opponent. So what would you do? I would start freaking creating underground bases and contingency plans. And a lot of the things that they've done. There was talks that they would take abductees and they'd abduct them. The government would. And then they freaking bring them in front of UFOs that they have, because the damn things don't work. And they're hoping that if they bring these people who have experience with these UFOs, that they turn on. That's like a story that I've heard. So, I mean, I think there's some truth here to this. What do you think, Mike? Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I think for sure. Again, like I said, yeah. Here's the problem, right? So, like, you can't. The way opposition does it to people is they deperson the people, right? They deperson the person. And they do that by calling them a fascist or a Nazi or a this or a that, right? Or a propagandist or right? And that's the thing. And so these are actual, like, real life terms that have an actual real life definition. But the problem is That's not the way these definitions are being used. They're being used as smears. And so the thing is, right? So you would say, Ash, you and I, you would say, to deperson us, you would say that we are conspiracy theorists, okay? And you would continue that sentiment by saying that they do not have the best interest of the people in mind, okay? And yet, if you rewind, again, every word we've said over the entire course of every single thing we've done on this, on record, you would find the opposite is true. We're very pro-people. We're very pro-autonomous. We're very pro, you need to do what you need to do for you, not for anybody else, right? And that's the thing. When you deperson somebody, you can villainize them. And this is part of this equation, part of this problem. And why I'm not saying, and I think we should do a show like this from time to time, even though we're skeptical of the claims, in many cases, other cases that Tom DeLonge is saying are fucking fact. You know what I mean? He doesn't live in a complete fantasy world. He's got a lot of shit that's true. So I think we're guilty of that in and of ourselves, me specifically, by coming after Tom a lot. But I think it's not what Tom says specifically. I think it's his connection with the government and how I believe they're trying to use him. So we're not going to get into that tonight. Again, I just mention it as a food for thought, right? This is how we dehumanize each other. This is how we deperson people. And as a result, they're a villain now. And once they're a villain, it's okay to use dirty, shitty tactics to call them whatever you want to call them. Anyway, just a quick side note. And again, I'm calling myself out for that, right? Rewind.
That's right.
Yeah, it's true. It's all true. It's all true. But again,
the government has done it with other groups. Well, why wouldn't they do it with this?
Of course. But this is what I'm saying, right? So I've said Tom DeLonge is probably wrong because he's being used by the government. Okay, but that doesn't mean I said Tom DeLonge is a Nazi and you should bury him in the dirt and punch him in the face. You know what I mean? It's different. Like saying somebody's wrong is different. Dehumanizing them, depersoning them to make it a political attack is completely different. You see what I'm saying? Like it's one thing to disagree. It's another thing entirely to, yeah. Anyway, you guys get what I got. Yeah. Bailey says you're going to get another copyright strike. Yeah, there we go. Strike 2. Strike 0-2 count. Here we go. All right. So all right.
Pack it up.
We're about to get a base hit. All right. Okay. So you got some other shit here. So, all right, let's wind this up. So you got a couple more. You call out a couple more clips. We're gonna play this bitch. We're gonna end this up. We're gonna finish this with part 2. Maybe we may draw this out to part 3 because there's so much here. I haven't even chopped up the Joe Rogan interview yet, which was in 2017, 1 year later. And it's interesting, right? When you listen to what insiders have to say, and you can go back in time. We're time traveling now. 2016. Now. We're able to look at all the things he said in 2016 in his long interviews, which is, now look, do me a favor, and this is important. This is the problem with society, our attention spans, or one of the problems, okay? Now, there's many, but one is our attention spans, okay? Because if you go back and you look at 2016, this is a 3+ hour interview. And so when was, like, for all the UFO information you thought you knew about Tom DeLonge, did you know all this shit he said? This is one long-form interview. You see? Now listen, twice a week we do 3 hours of this type of thing. And this is the problem, right? It's not a TikTok 30-second video, right? We're not dancing on a unicorn plastic horse, right? And we're not shaking our ass to Fleetwood Mac, right? But you get what I'm saying. Like, there's a problem here. There's a problem with attention span, and maybe it is the Archons. Maybe it is what Tom DeLonge is saying with the digital distractions, which we haven't even got to yet. But we have the ability to go back and hear what the insider said in 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, and 2020 regarding UFOs. The insider. All right? And we can parse this information. Now, it's different from parsing what I said or what Ash may have said because we're not insiders. We're speculating just like you. Okay? You see the difference. There's a huge difference here. So, anyway, etc. So on. Pick a couple more clips. Let's get the fuck out of this. Let's finish this up, and we'll should we plan on part 2 on Tuesday? What do you think, Ash?
Let's part 2 on Tuesday. You know, we kind of just wrap it up now. We could just do Cliff Notes version, just talk about it, and then just wrap it up because
you got a plane to catch. You tell me if you got a plane to catch. No problem.
I just gotta. My goat got out.
It's okay. I understand. I'm just saying it's cool.
I'm just concerned. It's the only other living thing I have here.
I want to be respectful of your time. If you have to go,
I don't want to be alone again.
Your goat. I can finish it out. give me 3 more clips to finish this out. All right.
Yeah. Let's do the 3 more clips, and then we'll just do a little quick chat, and then that's it. I'm down for that. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. So, what do you got? Can you give me the next 3? What's so we did 3. What's number 4?
So that first group was basically aliens are baddie, naughty,
aliens
naughty boys.
Bad. They're bad boys. Yeah.
So let's talk about 2325.
Okay, 23. Tom DeLonge. In the words of Tom DeLonge. All right, we're taking him at his word tonight. We're role playing that everything Tom DeLonge says is true. Clip 23.
Oh, let's go. Oh, no, let's go to 24. I'm sorry, 24. Let's go 24. 24. That's the money. The money shot.
And every time, and you got to think why. Well, there's a big reason why. Because nuclear weapons will f up those little ankle biters bad, and they know it. And even they, as advanced as they are, they can't get away from it. And makes you really wonder why we did so many nuclear tests. It makes you really wonder why we did like 30,000 tests all over the world in oceans, underground, up in the sky, and why we all have so many nuclear weapons. It's a big deal, I'm not going to say it's all for this, but I was told something really, really, really important. The entire Cold War, we were working with the Soviet Union. We were together with them. And it was the one thing that kept the Cold War from going hot, was our relationship together on this issue. We weren't dumb and just went and lit up a nuke when we were in a standoff with Russia, the Cuban Missile Crisis, where everyone's like, oh my God, we're all going to die. And we said, well, then we might as well do a nuke test. It's like, no, it didn't work that way. They knew we did the nuke test. They were probably in the room with us when we did that test, because there was a small group of people on both sides that were trying to do exactly what they did, which was fly swat some bugs out of the sky.
Okay, so no, in the context of that, what he's saying is that the United States and the Soviet Union were actually working together during the Cold War, and the Cold War wasn't us versus them. It was actually us together trying to find out what the hell these aliens were in the sky. Now, there's an entire thing here. We'll get to this the next time because there's too much. There's just too fucking much. All right? Like, again, this is going to be a part 2 for sure. Maybe a part 3 because we haven't even got to the Joe Rogan interview yet. But there's a thing called Starfish Prime, if you guys haven't heard of it. All right? Let me just throw this in here. We'll get to this next time. But, hold on. Let me make sure it's up on the screen. Here we go. All right, Starfish Prime. I'm going to link this if you guys want to check it out. Now, Tom talks about this, and he says that we did this nuclear test in the sky. The Starfish Prime is the largest nuclear test in space, all right? And what he implies during this entire thing is that this EMP, like it was a nuclear blast in the sky, and it actually taught us what an EMP will do because hundreds of miles away in Hawaii, it knocked out their electronics, all right? But as an added result, he claims that it also knocked out UFOs from the sky, okay, that we didn't know were there. We could not see, but for some reason, this EMP in the sky knocked UFOs out of the air. Okay, right? We'll get to that next time. Tenor hooks. I'm telling you, there's a ton here. At least 2 episodes, maybe 3. There's a shit ton of stuff here. We haven't even got to the Joe Rogan interview in 2017. So, Starfish Prime. All right. So, what else you got? I'm just throwing that out there. Food for thought next time. If you guys love this show, this is the type of shit we talk about. This is what we do, right? We look at this stuff. We don't have the answers. We have more questions. But I think the questions we have are way more pertinent than if you turn on CNN or Fox News. I think pretty much anybody out there with half a brain would probably concur, except for Ash, because he's got 3 or 4 brains. I don't know. Anyway, so go ahead, buddy.
I've got 3 stomachs.
3 stomachs. Sorry, that's what I meant. 3 stomachs.
One beautiful, superior reptilian brain.
Right, exactly. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's go to the next clip you got picked out. Let's do it. What do you got? Tell me which one. I'm playing it. You said 24.
Let's do what? What did I say? Nukes kill aliens. Let's do 25. Roswell. Let's do a little Roswell.
All right,
sprinkle that in there.
Let's see what Tom DeLonge has to say about Roswell. Clip 25. This is from 2016. Before the last election, they didn't know Trump was going to be president, right? Because if they did, they would have spurged out different. And they would have ran out of the room with fire in their hair. But no, not quite yet. Here we go. Roswell. Tom DeLonge, 2016, action.
The Roswell event did happen. And see, a lot of this stuff is going to be coming out in the next book. And the reason is so we can take some time to really place it and let people understand, how it unfolded. Now, what we found in Starfish Prime was different than what we found in Roswell. Okay? But equally as important, but a whole nother story all in itself, if that makes sense. And that's all I want to say.
Okay.
Right now.
That's all I want to say. There you go. You picked a short one.
Bro.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
So here's my theory about Roswell. So the remote viewers, they saw basically the narrative that I think happened is we met with that group. We met with a group of aliens and we betrayed them. So we basically met them. Potentially, we made this agreement where they can abduct people at the benefit of technology. That's something that they would not fucking want to come out with, right? Like they gave permission to these aliens to abduct people so that they can create vessels that can live on this planet. Like whether they knew that was the goal or not, or whether that's true or not, that's something that they would not want to. That's something they would that destroys that whole we're just trying to help humanity against the bad guys narrative. So that's probably one of the reasons potentially that they're like so secretive and they beat around the bush, is that they've done shit like this. Okay. So what I think happened based on the remote viewing and whatever, and I could be wrong, is that we agreed to meet with the UFOs. They gave us technology that was older. That it's like, when we sell shit to the to Saudi Arabia. America sells stuff that they're not going to sell them our best stuff. Why would they do that? Why would you do that? You're going to give your neighbor, you're going to give your neighbor the keys to the house? No, you're going to invite him over to the garage, right? To have a beer. You're not going to just let him come in your bedroom. That's the thing. You're going to give him the older stuff. Well, I think we made a strategic move. We betrayed them and we shot down one of their current models. And that's where we kind of gotten the edge on this whole thing. Yeah. And
he said it. He said it.
Right?
He said
that?
No, he said in this interview. Okay, like if we didn't play, I think we played it and we skipped over it. Unfortunately, I should have actually attacked this when it happened. I think we played this clip. If we didn't, we will get to it. He said that we've shot down UFOs with nukes, and then he continued that we don't want them to know we've reverse engineered their craft, and as a result of that, the entire So basically, Jimmy Church asked him eventually. We'll get to this next. We're going to do part 2 of this for sure. Maybe part 3 because there's so much here. Part 2 of this, we're going to get to this. Tom DeLonge asked Jimmy Church. No, the other way around. Jimmy Church asked Tom DeLonge. He said, "Hey, look, how come if we have this Bob Lazar UFO shit and we've reverse engineered their technology, how come we have people in third worlds without free energy? Like, how come we ain't we ain't rolling that yet. And Tom DeLonge
It's a fair question.
Yeah, Tom DeLonge said, he said, it's not about that. He said, because there's a bigger war at play here. And I'm paraphrasing. He said, we're not trying to save those people at this point because there's a bigger war and the aliens are actually a threat to us. And the reason that it hasn't rolled out as free energy, like Nikola Tesla and all this other stuff like that has been speculated, the reason it hasn't rolled out is because we don't want the aliens, the UFOs. The term he used was the UFO. We don't want the UFO to know that we have their technology to use against them. So basically he's saying that the cover-up is not against the American people and the people of the world. The cover-up is to somehow hide it from the ETs. All right? There you go. We'll get to that. I'm telling you, he fucking said it. He fucking said it.
That makes sense. It makes sense because, like, it's a vastly superior enemy, and you don't want to posture yourself in a threatening way, because then they'll be like, oh, okay, well, fuck you then, and then just wipe us all out, right? That we have to, like, play nice. It's like, what's that saying? Like, walk softly but carry a big stick, right?
Carry the big stick.
Kind of like,
yeah, Roosevelt. Yeah. You got it right.
And and when I studied the abduction phenomenon, there is again, pretty much anything I say is like, who knows?
No,
So
but hold on though. We're all people, so anything we say is who knows. But that's the point.
That's
if
true.
we get enough of us together, there's some yes we know. So anyway, go ahead. It's okay. We can self-deprecate,
No, you're right.
but I'm just saying, like, you are as relevant as anybody else. So fire away, good sir.
It seems with this abduction phenomenon that, yeah, these beings are in a cold war with our current military. It seems like it may be the case. And it's like, in my mind, I was like, but who's the bad guy? Are the aliens trying to save us? Or are we trying to expel a threat? And it really does seem like it's a cold war. And people go, oh, well, if they're vastly superior technologically, then what's the point? It's like, well, okay, well, let's say they only have 10 ships. They can't be everywhere at once. What's the point of openly attacking us as a race? Like, there needs to be some sort of control structure. Like, you got to think about these things through. Maybe they don't have a workforce. It could literally be we're doing battle with one fucking alien, just one. But if he has this advanced technology, it is a battle with our whole race. Think about it, because if they're creating the gray beings, they create their workforce and they're creating hybrids. That means they're creating a workforce. And we've seen generals talk about hybrid armies and different things like that. Is the Cold War between us and this extraterrestrial force? And there's all these chess moves. And these chess moves, some of them may be truly evil, right? We would morally not justify. But some of these may be in the greater best interest for humanity. We don't know, and that's the thing. Like, I mean, it's an interesting story. It does fill in a lot of gaps. Now, our next episode, I'm going to go through a lot of the Reddit comments. A lot of the Reddit comments do a good job punching holes in this narrative, but they may or may not be holes, right? We have to kind of like sit down and look at that. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think out there? Let me read some of these comments. Let me hear what you guys have to say. I don't know, man. What do you think, Mike?
You know what I think? I'm on record for a lot of damn words. Tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions at this point. I don't fucking know. Like, But again, like, it's not about what I think anymore. It never is. It never has been. I'll tell you what I think. I'm not scared of that. But it's not about what I think, because I'm not the arbiter of truth. All right? Because I don't think there is an arbiter of truth. I think the more of us get together and talk about these things, the more truth we gain together. But there's no one person out there that can, like, again, like Tom DeLonge, no offense to him, like, there's a lot of truth in what he says, but there's a lot of truth in what a lot of people say. But that doesn't mean everything everybody says is the truth, right? You see? Like, there's a huge fallacy here. And it's okay, right? I've softened on Tom DeLonge tonight. Okay. And I'm going to continue to do that because we're going to do episode 2, episode 3. We're going to see more of what the things he says in his own words. All right. And not like caricatures of himself that I make or somebody else makes. We're going to hear what he actually said. So, you know what I mean? All that is okay. It's okay to hate me. It's okay to hate him. But let's soften those things up. It's okay. Well, it's totally okay to hate Ash. We're not going to soften that up because he's an asshole. He's a dirty reptilian asshole that lives on Mars. But we're going to just,
I deserve it. I'd enslave you in a second.
Totally.
I would have you.
Totally.
I would turn you into a human chair.
Totally.
Like that.
Right? Exactly.
You carry me around from one end of the room to the other.
Can I
You'd
be the lampshade?
tired.
I want to be the lampshade. Okay. But the thing is, I volunteer to be the lampshade. All right, but look, this is the thing. This is what I'm saying. Truth, I started it with this. I'll continue to say this. Truth is a slippery fish. And this is what we talk about. The truth is not what we say to you. Okay? The truth is not what any one person says to you. The truth is all of these things combined. Right? That's the truth. Because you have to be able to parse. You have to be able to think critically for yourself. You have to be able to take all of this information. And you see why people aren't interested. It's a lot of fucking work. Just thinking about it. Okay. And I hate to say it. I said it last show with the Best Damn Podcast. They do a shit ton of work over there. We do a shit ton of work over here. All the prep work, right? All the post work, all the keywords, all of this, all of that, right? There's a shit ton of work. And I'm not complaining. I want you to understand I'm not complaining. I'm just telling you, thinking about it, right, is only the first part of the amount of work that can be done about this. All right? That's what I'm saying. And so I don't say it to complain for myself. I say it to encourage you to do something like this. Get your ass out there and start talking, right? Start being human and start being accepting of other humans. And you may be surprised what kind of actual positive reception you receive. Because you guys have been loving and gracious to us. And I never thought that would be the case. You see? I never thought I was smart enough. I never thought I could speak quickly enough. I never thought any of these things. And here we go. I meet amazing people. I meet Ash. I meet Bailey, right? I meet John from the Best Damn Podcast. I meet Benjamin. I meet Millie. I meet Joe from Florida. I meet all the way down the line. Like literally so many people because we get together, we put our minds together. And what do? We actually ask for the truth. In a world that's called post-truth. In a place where truth is no longer allowed. Yeah, I think that sums it up. Anything else, Ash? Let's finish this bitch up. We'll do part 2 on Tuesday.
That was beautiful, Mike. That's
Thank
really
you.
good. You get good at that. Yeah, there's a scene in Captain America Endgame, or no, Endgame, the last Marvel movie, and Captain America walks up and he gives this speech, and Rocket Raccoon, who's like a new character, he's never met Captain America. He's like, "Wow, he's good at that." And the other guy goes like, "Yeah, right. That's you, Mike." Captain Conspiracy America. That was a good speech.
Thanks, Ash. That's the best. There you go. There you go. From the only alien I know. The only alien I know. He says, Captain Conspiracy. I'll take that. Maybe those need to be T-shirts. Ash, you're
I'd
the best.
spare your life. During the invasion, I'd spare you.
You'd spare my life.
Definitely still control and definitely put you to work. But, you'd live. I'd give you a free pass. And I'd give you lots of resources. Probably like 15 houses that I've taken from other people.
All right. So I can enslave them myself. Okay, perfect. I'm glad we're on the same team. Okay, so look, at the end, we're done. Only because this is so long. There's a lot here. But listen, now this is the crazy part. I'm not shitting you. We could literally do this shit 5 nights a week, guys. Like there's so much damn information. We could spend all week. We could spend 5 days this week, Monday through Friday, talking about Tom DeLonge playing clips and literally delving into whatever this is, right? Like the consciousness or go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead.
Larry says, I think they need to abduct someone with COVID, give them the virus. Maybe it's the main plan. Independence Day, World of War scenario. I've thought about this, Larry. That's a good point. in a chess game against a superior alien enemy, the advantage we have is this is our home field. So who's to say there's this hybrid alien agenda, and it's got some steam to it, right? That they're hybridizing, they're moving in. Well, if you release a virus, they're going to be, oh, fuck, and they're going to pull out. Who's to say that this international group of people, this cabal, COVID wasn't a plan, wasn't a strategic move to push back? Very, very good. Very good thought. See, man, it makes it feel good. I have these crazy thoughts of my own, and I see it, someone else, I'm like, yeah, it's a good thought. It's a good thought, right? Like, it's totally possible. And I think that's why disclosure hasn't happened, because people are smart. We could put 2 and 2 together, and I think these people are guilty of things that they don't want to be guilty of. And so anyway, yeah, like Mike was saying, like we need to kind of have these conversations. We need to talk. These are the conversations we need to have. We need to not let the stigma, all this crap, hold us down, hold us back. And I just wanted to say my last important thing, and this is kind of where we need to be, guys. Like, yeah, like Mike said earlier, we've been fucking the same stuff for the last 10, 50 years, right? UFOs and bases, whatever.
That phenomenon, UFO flap, the fucking shit in Africa, the
same shit.
Same shit. It's the same shit. It's the same shit. Look, how can the insiders be talking about the same shit we're talking about? Okay, go ahead.
Exactly. And who's to say what's put out by them and what's not, right? So here's I think where we need to be. This is whether they know this or not, whether they're going to tell us or not. Here's the question. Here's the real question. And this comes from that documentary. And this is literally some like Brazilian little girl who met the alien, and then they ask her later. She's grown up now, and they're like, "Well, do you think about it?" And she's like, "I wish I can go back. I wish I could ask them." And this is the question. This is the question we all want to know. What are they doing on Earth, and what do they want with us?
I think that's a hell of a question. And with
what are they doing here?
Yeah. Wait.
And what do they want with us?
Wait. You need to, Ash, you need to say it a little more slowly, a little more dramatically, because I got some outro music about to bam.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'll do it again. Hold on. Go ahead. Go ahead. Put it up.
Buddy. No. I got the timing. Go ahead. You start.
Oh, okay.
I got you.
All right. Okay. All right. What are they doing on Earth? And what do they want with us? That's the real question. Thank you guys for joining us here at Troubled Minds. You guys are great. You're awesome. Thank you, Mike, for having me. This is an exciting one. This is a fucking real-time disclosure, guys. This shit's happening now. Pretty exciting. 2020, not letting up. Crazy. It's like that crazy girlfriend, man. You know? And
Jesus Christ. Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
You're gonna look back and be like, God damn, you know?
We've all probably had one of them. All right, so look, this is the thing. Ash, we're doing part 2 Tuesday, right? You available Tuesday? You better be. Or I'm gonna clone your ass and get your ass here no matter what.
Fine, yeah, I'll be here. No, I'd love to. That'd be great.
Okay, Tuesday we're doing part 2 of this. We're gonna do more of what Tom DeLonge said, and we're living in Tom DeLonge's world, right? We're doing it. We're role playing if we have to. We're trying to pull away our human flesh and blood and opinions, even though they leak out from time to time, as you can tell, because we're human after all. But we're going to talk about more of what Tom DeLonge has to say in living in his world. And again, it's bizarre how it ends up in the same situation of what we just talked about with the Best Damn Podcast. Check them out on YouTube, please. Check out Best Damn Podcast on YouTube. You can find them there. They haven't been banned there as far as I'm aware. Check out What's Up. Everybody else, thanks for hanging out. What are we going to do? We don't know the answers. We're just going to keep asking questions. That's what this is all about. And as of right this second, you're listening to Troubled Minds Radio. I'm your host, Michael Stranger. I'm here with Ash, the reptilian from Mars. Thanks for hanging out with us, man. Thanks for all your time. You're amazing. Thanks for all the great takes. We'll be back on Tuesday for part 2 of this same show. We're going to talk about Tom DeLonge in his own words, not caricature, not made up, not spun by some propagandist asshole. The words he actually says. And I'm telling you, the words he says, if they're real, we live in a terrifying world. So yeah, we'll be back for that Tuesday. One more time, Ash, thank you so much. Final thought, let's get the fuck out of here.
Let's get out of here, guys. Hey, thanks again for joining us. I try to be, I don't have as much experience as Mike. I try to be entertaining. Try to bring that hot alien spitfire in a coherent manner. So I appreciate hanging in there, not roasting my ass the whole time. You can make fun of me, but I hope that you guys are happy, and you enjoy yourself, and we're having these conversations, and it's always a blast. So I'll see you guys on Tuesday, and we'll come back to some more Tom DeLonge craziness.
Tom DeLonge Craziness Part 2 on Tuesday. Ash the Reptilian will be here. Michael Strange, Troubled Minds Radio. You guys for hanging out this long. You guys are all super fans. Dubbed it. It's in the universe. It's burned on your chest. It's burned on your butt. It's burned wherever you want it to be. Troubled Minds super fans. From my mind to your butt. Thanks for listening. Have a great night, guys.
Get me Zoom call excited with all this.
There you go, right. You're great. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you on Tuesday. More Tom DeLonge, and we are out. Thanks for listening. From our Troubled Minds to yours, have a great night.